Welcome everybody to Swimmer Sync 158 here on IPL, another weekly edition in the middle of August. Should be a lot of fun. My name is Kyo and I am joined by an awesome pal of mine's actually on the mic. Probably their first go at it too. Par, welcome aboard. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I've been a little bit nervous, honestly. This is my first time actually doing some commentary for IPL, but I'm excited to get my feet wet, just see what kind of games we have lined up for us today.
You know what? I appreciate the introduction. Don't be too nervous because a lot of things can happen throughout the rest of the day. We got ourselves our first. We got our first round, of course. If you're familiar with SOS best 3 group stages, and then we'll figure out the bracket from there. So we got ourselves our first 2 teams for the night. And so before we went live on the mic, we were told the round 1 matchup, and we both were kind of laughing here because we both recognize one person. Duck and Cover versus Honor Brown this first matchup, and one member from Duck and Cover, I believe we do recognize.
Yeah. M is someone who I have known for a while now through other orgs, and just someone who I have shared many a conversation with, played with on occasion. So one of the names that I was not expecting to see immediately, but here we are.
Shouts to our awesome TO for teeing us up there. Probably unintentional, but don't you worry. But now the actual storylines in question: Duck and Cover versus Honor Bound. I'll take this one here. Par. Duck and Cover division. Of course, you will always hear on the net that looty divisions obviously don't matter, especially when you get to the end of the season. But sometimes we gotta say it anyway. Div 4 for Duck and Cover. We do have a very familiar Honor Bound team that has been around. They've been established for quite some time. I have probably seen them, but in passing. So as I normally like to say, would love to see what they get to dish out. So we got our introductions to both teams here. Let's go ahead and see our map pulls for this best of 3, and then we got ourselves Umami Zones to kick us off. Undertow Spillway Rainmaker, and if we do get to the third game, Barnacle and Dime Clan Blitz. Par, your thoughts on Umami Zones if you have any?
Umami Zones is a map that I've personally come to like quite a bit over time. I think at first I was a little bit hesitant about it because of the fact that it used to be really lockout heavy, but I think that issue has been largely mitigated with the map rework that happened not too long ago. So I'm kind of interested to see what kind of strategies that we're going to see going forward on this map, because it's not one I've actually practiced on as much as I used to.
And I know you've played a few tournaments in the past, and we don't normally see Umami Zones. And to be frank, if we're talking in Splatoon 3, there's a lot of good zones map. It's probably one of those maps, if we think in the same wavelength here, Par, that there will probably be other zones map that will get prioritized over this one. But this is actually honestly a very fine 2 zones map here too. We just don't normally see a lot of airtime for this particular map combination.
Yeah, the raised bit of cover in mid that you can also climb up on, there's the bumper there. It gives some interesting geometry, as well as the 2 zones being a pretty unique shape that aren't trivial to flip. And they aren't trivial to flip together. It's kind of hard to hit over the cover in the middle, which often can lead to the zone stalling if things are too even. Regardless though, Umami is definitely a map that I'm only seeing sometimes. Most of the time, some tournaments will have it, some won't. As a result, it wasn't a map that I felt particularly practiced on back when I was still playing competitively, but it is definitely. I think we could see some interesting picks here, some off the wall picks, if you will.
Well, if you guys know me well enough, I love off the wall picks. I would love to see some very fun ones. I'm pretty sure with both teams being as established, they're probably gonna look to get some practice in as much as they can with some of the weapons they have. And I think to your point, because we don't normally see a lot of Umami maps in general. I think we see a lot more zones, and Clams has been a lot more popular this day too. It's kind of I'm actually kind of surprised that this map came back to the forefront. That being said, though, Par, at least my personal opinion, I feel like it's also one of the more underrated maps that we see a lot.
I would say it's underrated as well. It's it has the ability to. You have the ability to run a couple of weapons that are able to more easily use the sightlines that are available in mid. There's the rail that allows for easier flanks. Now that the spawn area has also been expanded, it's also much harder to lock out. So I think that's really opened up the the possibilities for different team comps and stuff that isn't necessarily conforming to the absolute best things that you could be running right now.
That's a very true thing there as well. For those in the audience trying to figure out why we haven't queued up the first one, we're still trying to iron out some stuff here with the lobby. So just be patient with us. We'll get to you to the first map as soon as we can here between Duck and Cover and Honor Bound. Of course, round one here in Swimmer. Actually, really all the rounds in Swimmer Sync. For those who are not fully aware, three best of threes that every team's playing determines which part of the bracket you will end up in. Which, of course, finishing first in your group will put you to Great White, and then Hammerhead, Mako, and Lantern from that particular order here. So we got that out of the way here. So for all intents and purposes, Par, hope you're excited. I know you mentioned earlier, there's word kicking in. We still haven't even loaded in yet, so I may as well just ask you as a good buddy of mine. How are you still?
I'm now that we've actually started talking, I'm starting to feel the flow a little bit better now.
There you go.
If I'm going to be honest, also taking I've already got my brain going regarding the other two maps left in the pool. Undertow Spillway, that's probably going to be much more of a test of like what you have practiced, what you know works, because that's a map that I usually will see in all modes tournaments. Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime, much less so. That one still feels very lockout heavy even after its rework, but it will occasionally. I think it's a bit better now that the spawn region's been expanded, but we'll see how that ends up playing out if we end up going to a game 3.
And actually, I'll touch upon map number 2 with you, Par, while we're still trying to get ourselves organized here. Undertow Rainmaker, for those in context, is a very common Rainmaker map that we do get to see on the across not just here but also other tournaments as well, and for good reason. It's probably one of the better Rainmaker maps that we have here in Splatoon 3. Now if we want to ramble a little bit further here, Par, 2 iterations, of course. If the second iteration can expand it a little bit, there are some tunnels you can go through, but of course, one of the more interesting things they did, getting rid of that uninkable path if you try to push on that left side. I've heard some interesting notes there regarding how that change went, and I think the general consensus, I'm not sure if you agreed with the same thing, Par, it already made a good an already strong map even much better in Rainmaker.
I'm in two minds of specifically the uninkable. Like, it does make that much easier to get through, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing for the health of the map, because now it's a much stronger breakaway if you happen to have a numbers advantage going through that checkpoint. But either way, we'll be getting to that later. It looks like we're loading into the game right now.
Yeah, we're going to be loading into the game at this stage. Duck and Cover is going to be on the yellow side, Honor Bound on the purple side. I'll leave it to you, Par. Look at the weapons. What do you see right away?
Oh, some very interesting team comps right away. We've got an Inkjet heavy edit cooler offense going from Honor Bound, while Duck and Cover. And then we have a coolerless midline plus double splash comp coming in from Honor Bound. That's definitely something that is going against the grain. A lot of painting power that I can see from 2 splashes. We'll see how that ends up playing out as the mid fight continues to glow on.
Yeah, that's good. I saw the weapons play out here as we do get to see Duck and Cover. That's gonna be a 2-down situation right away. They're next to lurking with that Inkjet on that left-hand side. They should be able to pressure out Honor Bound just a little bit further. Zug, I believe, no, excuse me, I think that was an Inkjet shot that took out Halo, and that is gonna be Honor Bound, gonna be blocked out just a bit. I was actually kind of curious there because that is a lot of painting power that Honor Bound has, but they've already started off a little further behind. Here with 57 points remaining and still counting here. They just burned all 3 specials, only able to take 1, but at least they neutralized the zones here just a bit. Zones is flipped the other direction. Par, it is going to be Honor Bound at least able to get the zones back.
That was actually a really good retake there. They ended up burning all of their specials, but they kind of have to against this team comp. Between the heavy edit, the wall from the 52, and the Inkjet also being able to zone them out, it's really going to be hard for them to be pushing in without the special assistance from especially like the crab tank and the Booyah bomb.
And that's gonna be the interesting thing here is how does that crafting of the Booyah Bomb get synergized the more this game progresses? But Honor Bound's gonna have to solve that riddle later. They are gonna get wiped out just like that. Duck and cover, able to get the zones back, taking advantage of that wipeout. They were just 4 points short of at least tying, 5 points short for getting the lead there. So Duck and cover still trying to force Honor Bound back by just a bit here. They are gonna burn these triple ink strikes. Penalty points should be out of there shortly here from Duck and cover. It's gonna be 1-for-1 trade, 2 down on the side of Honor Bound, and Duck and cover are still holding on to the zone pretty well here, Par.
Holding on well, but now that they're kind of split up right now, there's still a fight going on in the back. Just got cleaned up. But ultimately, this is good for Duck and cover at the end of the day. They're popping 2 specials. The Booyah Bomb's going to waste some time on the Zuka. Actually going to get the pick. Impressive. Which might actually be able to open things up, except for the fact that the numbers disadvantage is still kind of working against them right now. The stagger going on is just way too brutal. They're going to need a miracle to come back from this, I think.
Yeah, the big thing here that Honor Bound needs to do, they're unfortunately losing one. They're going to have to rely on trying to rush in, try to get one of the zones to be neutralized. There's just so much coverage, though, from Duck and cover. It's not going to be enough time to make that happen. And we kick off this first map here in SOS 158. Duck and cover is going to be 1 up to start the set. And what do you like so far, Par, out of that game?
Really rough matchup to start off. Being up against a cooler without one of your own, as well as just having not a ton of range to contest the heavy edit, not a ton to contest the 52 gal, you're putting a lot of pressure onto the V machine in order to get yourself some space, fight the enemy. Because both splashes are not necessarily good fighting weapons. They'll paint the map, no problem, but you're relying both on the Nautilus and the machine to get through a wall and a heavy edit. And there's going to be a lot of uptime on the cooler. So it's just kind of an uphill matchup. I'm really curious to see how they're going to adjust for Undertow Rainmaker.
We talked about this map earlier, where especially with the 2 different phases that we had, where in that first iteration there's the uninkable on both sides, and then they got rid of that. In fact, expanded that a little bit further. It's gonna be intriguing to see how Honor Bound, at least starting off this SOS, adjusts. And actually, so here's the thing I'm wondering about is they dished out what was it? The Nautilus, the 2 splashes, both varieties actually of the splashes to boot, and that sloshing machine. Do you think it was probably a very zone-specific comp?
It definitely felt like they were playing to zones, but at the same time, it kind of felt like they were putting up a little bit too much pressure onto their paint and not enough effort into retake, especially on a map like Umami, where lockouts still can happen a little bit more frequently than other zones maps. You kind of do need a way to get back in, and when your retake power is a tri-strike and a Booyah Bomb, and that's it, it's not necessarily going to be enough to break through a 52 with the wall and a heavy edit and a Zuka. It's really tough for you to be able to stagger your specials in such a way that makes it actually work out. Though once you have that space, it's a lot easier to maintain because you have so much painting power from even like the Ink Storm and the tri-strikes and all that stuff.
And that's good. And that's gonna be the intriguing thing here, because you're going from zones to Rainmaker. It doesn't necessarily recommend a lot of painting. In fact, you just gotta win out a lot of fights. In fact, I actually wouldn't be surprised. My hot take coming in for this first best of 3 is I wouldn't be surprised if Honor Bound moves away from it, but I also doubly wouldn't be surprised if they want to stick to that one, just trying to see if they can make it work the second go around, as we do get to see Duck and cover still on that offside again. It will be when this next one they will win the set. I don't think there are any changes that I see right away. No surprise, weapon changes across the board. In fact, I think 4 weapons were swapped out. I wasn't sure if Pieman was in that Neo Splash from Honor Bound, but Honor Bound just went with the total change overall.
Yeah, Honor Bound completely changed up their comp. They have a cooler now in the Zap, which will match the cooler output of the heavy edit, but they also have a very strong fighting weapon in the Range Blaster, picking vanilla range for the Wave Breaker and Suction Bomb, and they have sorry, the Rainmaker got picked up, so I've already forgotten what it is.
You're good. I think it was the Range Blaster that was picked up, so it was the Zap.
It was the shot.
Yeah, the vanilla shot. That's I actually thought the Range Blaster actually picked up there for a hot second, but no, you're right. It might have been the shot. Either way, that's a lot more painting, but they also now have that cooler option. You saw in game 1 they didn't have a cooler option. Game 2 they're gonna switch over to the Zap, and that's gonna be the intriguing thing I would like to see, is just the special usage on top of it as well, because all is that you do have that, I believe, the Wave Breaker there, but well, I'm gonna ignore me for what I'm about to say for a quick second there. Swampy just took 2 out with the Zuka. Now pushing to the right checkpoint, realizes that's wide open enough for them to take, and it is gonna be the checkpoint cleared. I think that's all it's gonna be for that push, because again, you're gonna have to deal with the unequal ramp up right side. Duck covers wiped out. Par that they just took advantage of the right checkpoint, figured they just want to get that out of the way first.
Trying to get that checkpoint out of the way might have been like a decent call in the heat of the moment, but in the long term, it resulted in the team kind of just splitting up in such a way that made it really easy for Honorbound to just try and make a counter push over to the left side. While it didn't end up working out, as the cooler ends up going down 3 down right now, it was an opening that definitely could have cost Duck and Cover like their lead.
That's actually, and that's a very intriguing point, but in that side, Duck and Cover was at least able to defend very nicely there. They do have 2 specials that are, correction, 3 specials now. Cooler, I believe, just got dished out. There's actually going to be a little bit of a defensive cooler. Just make sure that everybody picks up that soda, if you will. As the Inkjet also been popped out as well. That's going to be also the counter specials there. Trip Straight takes out the Inkjet, takes out their Tri-Slosher user. It is going to be the 52 going down on top of it. Swampy picks up that Rainmaker at the very least, and now having to dodge these Zuka shots that were being fired. And it looks like this is going to be a successful hold. Both teams kind of stuck within 60 points remaining for the score. Kind of still in the neutral fight there, and 2 down on both sides. Might slow it down for just a bit, just waiting for the jumps to come in here, Par.
These triple strikes are definitely putting in a lot of work for Honorbound right now. Duck and Cover is needing to play around it, respect it. The Inkjet gets sniped out of the sky because of the fact that it just outputs so much DPS. You cannot linger in that with a slow-moving special like that. And now we've got advantage for Honorbound, being able to utilize the numbers advantage and the stagger that they've got in order to try and take this checkpoint. Wavebreaker going down. We'll see if this ends up converting.
And that's going to be a key thing they have, but they're having to deal with a lot of bombs. Yes, it is going to be everybody going down. I believe it's going to be a delayed wipeout there as well. Pyman's going to be the lone one breaking the barrier along with Nathan as well. Honorbound should be able to get the checkpoint here shortly. Yes, they will. They will lose 1 member, and that will be the Neo Splash going down on top of it. That will be the Rainmaker barrier being broken. They are going to pick this one up, pick that one up, excuse me, move just a bit forward, at least get the lead change out of the way, and it is going to be 3 down on Honorbound's end. Honorbound able to take full advantage of the delayed wipe and at least take lead, but it's not going to be a huge one.
This has turned into a real knockdown, drag-out kind of brawl with teammates going down left, right, front, and center, really abusing that cooler in order to like just try and trade favorably than the other team. This is sort of like what the end game of cooler versus cooler ends up being. Right now, we're kind of back in neutral, if you will, with Azuka being burned, and now we've got a pick and an Inkjet popped, though.
And that Inkjet being popped right away from Schneck is actually just trying to fire a few shots, not able to get the spacing that they need there. And with about 1:10 left to go on the clock. I know that earlier too that the lead isn't necessarily huge. It is just going to be Rainmaker. And ultimately, what matters here is where the objective is placed at the end of the day. 2 members are down from Duck and Cover's end. Make that a delayed 3 once more. Honorbound could possibly extend the lead, but they are going to be only a mere second away from trying to even bother with the stall. So I think they're just going to try to move forward, get a little bit more points on board, which is not a bad move by the end of it. They will drop the Rainmaker at least. 2 down on both sides here. Park could get a little close.
Yeah, it could. Very heads-up play from the Heavy Edit. Realizing they were out of position, jumped back to spawn. We didn't see it, but you could tell from the positioning. And now that they've managed to successfully repel, they're able to like make another attempt to push. But there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. They're going to have to make sure to push in such a way that doesn't get them caught, like with the range blaster.
That was unfortunate too. The range blaster just right within range, no pun intended. And it drops the Rainmaker as it stands. Duck and Cover drops that Rainmaker. Now Honorbound doesn't need to pop it at all. Just trying to make sure that Rainmaker doesn't get picked up by the end of it from Duck and Cover. Duck and Cover needs to move forward to try to pressure them out, but it looks like that Rainmaker won't get popped whatsoever. If it were to get popped, Honorbound's gonna be the one to pick it up most likely, and it won't get broken through. That was well played by Honorbound. Very close match that we saw from both of these teams. But by the end of it all, because I kind of shorted out there and trying to figure out who wanted, yes, I was right. Honorbound wins. We do go to game 3 at the end of it, Par.
We are going to game 3. The range blaster being able to be in the right place at the right time to stop the push before it can even start, and the Rainmaker ends up getting stuck because it's in mid. Everyone's getting specials ready. It's the last couple seconds of the game. There's no way it's moving out unless there's a massive swing right then and there.
Nathan very clutch on that pick there to force that Rainmaker to drop, and also just smart play overall once that occurs. So really stellar stuff from Honorbound. Great rebound as well from that game 1, and I feel like it lended the theory that game 1 very zone specific composition. We do go to Undertow Rainmaker. Undertow Spillway Rainmaker, excuse me. Even I'm the one that's flubbing words here. They ended up just switching the comp wholesale. Barnacle Dime, Clambit, Blitz. This one I like to call this a very stalling map from previous experience here. Par, both teams. This is, of course, the games we were winning it. At least get some on the board to start off SOS.
I think the onus is now on duck and cover in order to adjust if they have to. They could stick to their guns. The team comp that they stuck with for games 1 and 2 seems to be the one that they're most practiced with. However, now that Honorbound has gotten into their groove with their own team comp with the cooler, that's a little bit more generalized. And with how much value they got out of the Range Blaster, I would be surprised if they decided to stick. I could see them potentially switching to the Kraken Range Blaster instead, but I'm going to assume that this is going to be same comps for the last match here, because Clam Blitz, Barnacle, and Dime, I think that the combination that they had going was working, and why fix what ain't broke, you know?
And it actually lends a very credible theory there, because duck and cover didn't really change anything from games 1 and 2, because probably the same theory that game 1 they were able to win with what they had, which I believe was that edit the shot, the vanilla try. I am unfortunately blanking on the 4th weapon there, but it will come back to me once we see it. But I love that Honorbound was at least willing to change it up just in here to make it work for how Undertow Rainmaker kind of ultimately serves. So going to a deciding game 3, one team of course will be up a set, and the other one will have a loss in the set column. So gonna be here to see how both teams dish this one out. Yet okay, it was the 52, and again, no changes from duck and covers. And you know that it could have been the possible effects of the custom range blaster. No, not at all from Nathan. You are exactly right. Both teams keeping the same comps.
Yep, they're going to keep it running. They're going to just run it with the same thing. Interesting thing that I actually just note: the Range Blaster is not running Stealth Jump in favor of other subs to maximize the utility of their weapon. We've got an early pick going on and some tri-strikes going on, so it's looking like Honorbound is looking to take space early right now.
And just being able to take a pick and then take full advantage of it there is the best thing they could do. They were able to build up a lot of clans for that power clan spawn, and at least build up what they call the clan economy, bringing it up to 16 clans in their possession. 52 Miguel, by the way, still going down, firing that Zuka, trying to zone out a little bit of duck and cover, having to force them to play a little bit in fear. But it looks like Tao is being pressured by that Inkjet. In fact, does go down by the end of it. 1-for-1 trade on both sides there. Schneck lands a second shot, and that will take out Pieman out of the board, and it will be a successful hold, I believe, from duck and cover. Yes, it will be at least a delayed 3 down. Push is not going to go anywhere right away for Honorbound, and for sure definitely won't. And this could be a good time for duck and cover, at least recuperating clans, but they lost 2 anyway, so we could be stuck in neutral for a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like we're going back to neutral, because it turns out that while the hold was good, it only got everyone back into mid, really. We are about to see a cooler come out, and Honorbound's going to be a bit down on specials right now, but anything can happen right now.
Yeah, I was gonna note there, just a little down on specials versus Honorbound, which had the cool. They did have that whale there. That actually was 2 down as well. And again, Schneck is just landing a lot of these shots with the Inkjet. It is gonna be the wipeout for sure, and it will be M picking up that power climb, cashing that in for the first score. And there was a second power climb that was also spawned. Now that ink wall placed by Kaito, trying to zone them out and make sure they can't fire themselves through, trying to safely place clams. And this is a great push right away for duck and cover. Yes, they're gonna be 2 down. More ink walls being thrown in there to at least give themselves some space they need to throw a few of those small clams in. Gonna be down to 36 points remaining for the score, or 64 points cashed in. That's a strong push right away from duck and cover here, Par.
Don't look away. The counter push is probably going to be coming out. They've got Wavebreaker, they've got Tri-Strike, they've got Cooler. They're going to be able to take at least mid, probably going to at least start staging to get clams. Oh, but the shot going down right now is probably not going to do. It ends up being a 2-for-1, so actually this could end up still working out into a push, but they're going to need to hold mid right now.
And that's what they're gonna do. But Holy Mid is gonna have to wait just a tiny bit more. They are gonna break through the barrier at the very least cut that down with some of the points. They also let the free clan back in their base to make it 77 points remain. So there is just the 1+1 push right now, but at least they still keep the free clan if they needed to take leverage of it. So at the very least, Honorbound cuts down the deficit by just a hair. But now we're back to this slightly neutral game. Both teams kind of still fighting out here. Par, the Zuga was actually popped. They are going to take out that Range Blaster from Nathan's end. Again, Schneck just landed a lot of these good Inkjet shots, just not able to find any value right away with this one. And we're stuck to this 1-for-1 trade. I still think that we're still going to be stuck in neutral for a little bit longer.
I don't think so at all. We have a huge special advantage going on for Honorbound right now, and a little bit of a numbers advantage. They did lose their cooler just now, but if they're able to, maybe not. Never mind. I'm lost in the sauce.
No, I don't blame you for being lost, because we thought that, okay, 3 specials were available. Maybe it was the right time to go. And then, unfortunately, I believe one of the spots, someone who held the power clamp, when they went down, the power clamp just drops out of bounds into the sea, and Barnacle and Dime, which just little unfortunate. They lose a little bit of pushing power. I also believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was also the free clan that's also out of the board there too. So Honorbound's gonna have to just build up another one here. They do at least have a lot of time to make that one count. Now this time I can safely say this is gonna be a push that Duck and Cover at least are trying to do right now. But both teams still kind of neutral right now. Schneck's able to at least get a trade two down right away for Honorbound, and it looks like Duck and Cover might still try to hold on at the very least.
All right, yeah, Honorbound's holding on right now, but the onus is now going to be on them. A trade with a heavy edit is good here, especially since the heavy edit is now going to be down to nothing. They don't have a cooler available. It's going to take them a few seconds before they can build it up again. 2 down going down for Honorbound is going to exasperate the position. Right now, they need to make a power clam. They are less than a minute left, and they need to at least build up the special.
Well, one special that they have for Honorbound here is that Trip Strikes that is available. So it's gonna be the intriguing thing to see how they're gonna try to build up the space that they need at this stage. Now the cooler just made available there from the Zap. It's actually gonna be popping this one at least a little early there. So they're just gonna try to get that speed buff there soon. Nathan going down means they're going to be slightly late there to pick up that cooler. All that Dunguard is really doing right now is just trying to move forward, just trying to make sure that there's enough spacing so that Honorbound is going to be delayed on this push. We are at least guaranteed OT here, as the Trip Strikes is going to be popped up here soon, and it is going to build that space that they need. 4 seconds left to go on that clock as Pyman's in, at least trying to paint down. There's that fight that's happening with the Tri-Slasher. The Tri-Slasher win from Schneck because, of course, we called out their name from earlier, but Halo's going to be the one trying to throw up that power climb, tossing it just a little bit upwards to at least break through the barrier. But where is the fall? The follow-up's not going to be there anytime soon, it looks like. Yeah, it's going to be 2 down. This should be GG well played, and that wipeout is the cherry on top to this set, and that'll be Duck and Cover. They will hold on game 3. They win this set 2-1.
Oh, that is really unfortunate. Just watching the Tri-Slosher just hiding on the wall, not being noticed in order to completely kill the power clam and remove that pressure that they had from the space that they bought from the Tri-Strike. Just in the right place at the right time. Same way that that game 2 ended.
What we saw between game one was a very zone-specific comp from Honorbound, but Duck and Cover's like, we're not too phased about it at all from game 2. Just stick to what we know best. Honorbound tried to counter with the same style, just didn't work out. And that was really just the one major push that we saw there, Par, at least to sum up that first set there. And I felt like, honestly, both teams were almost pretty even, to say the least, even especially with that second map there in Rainmaker.
Game 3 was actually really, really even, despite what it kind of looked like, because Honorbound was on the back foot for most of the game, but they did end up getting themselves into some very advantageous positions here and there. The main problem that they had was really just the fact that they kept getting blindsided by one person, or just like on the flanks or sharking somewhere, and it just completely took the wind out of their sails. That moment where they were up like 3-2 and had 3 specials available, only for their power clam carrier to get wiped out in such a way that the power clam fell into the abyss, just ended up really setting them back, and they ended up going down all the way down to 1 person. And I don't think they really recovered from that.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly what you noted there too. It's just a very unfortunate moment with the power clam sending the back pushing power wise, and that was the free clam back at base too. So that was the thing. That was ultimately the thing I was worried about was that did they lose some pushing power? Didn't seem to phase them coming in OT, but they just lost a lot of steam there. So by the way, set ends like that. Duck and Cover is going to be wins the set overall 2-1. In fact, we're not going to go anywhere because we're going to still keep going, because game 2 should be queued up here in just a few moments. There it is. There's a quick little swap there. Pelican versus a Krill Streak will be the other two. Unfortunately, Par, I don't think we will have any players that we know in common. So I'll try to sum this up as much as I can here. Pelican, notable members I noticed right away. It was Delta Div. We've seen Delta Div at least from the competitive scene just here and there. They're going to be curious to see how this pickup, by the way, Pelican plays out. Krill Streak, I believe, if I am not mistaken, yes, an established team according to their Sendo bios, unless their Sendo bios are lying to us, are at least out here. I'm gonna be curious to see how both these teams play out here. I'm gonna try to take a quick glance at the records here. I'm totally not trying to stall at this stage. It is gonna be Pelicans win-loss 1-0, Krill Streak 0-1. So Krill Streak trying to be on the board. and Krill Streak trying to deliver Pelican their first loss of the set. So I spoke a lot there, Par. I'll give you a chance to speak here, and also I'll have you speak with our upcoming maps here in round number 2 as well. There it is. Rainmaker on Crab Lake Capital will be the one to start us off here, Par.
Fairly solid Rainmaker map here. This is a map where, once again, we have the 2 split paths as most maps in Splatoon 3 do. Usually end up favoring either the left side or the right side, for depending on if you want. Sorry, my brain turned off right there.
You're good.
No, it's fine.
Do you want me to let you recover a little bit here?
Yeah.
I'll let you recover there. I don't blame you whatsoever. Don't worry, I'm also stuttering a lot here as well. You would be surprised. Crab Lake Capital Rainmaker, of course, two different paths. I actually, in most gameplays, I usually seen both take advantage of, but it really depends on that heat of the moment there, from how the game kind of plays out. Though I usually do see a lot of teams try to push on that right hand side if they want to be bold and advantageous, but I think both directions do have their own merits. Now, that's Rainmaker Crab Lake Capital. We are going to be guaranteed the second map on Hagglefish Market zones, and then if we do have to go through the game tree, it'll be Museum on the Alfonsino Clan Blitz. So maybe I give you some time to recover a little bit. Anything you want to know for the first one, or do we want to know the second one out of the list?
I don't really have much to say about Hagglefish or Museum at the moment. They are tried and true map modes that you see in almost every tournament. But in Rainmaker Crab Leg, this is going to be an interesting one, because the point that I wanted to make was on the right side, you have the huge great area with the very, very tiny jumps that you can make with the Rainmaker. Extremely risky route to take, but can pay dividends because it ends up putting you in a much better position to KO. But I would say that despite the fact that the left side has a jump that you have to make, it is probably the safer route to pick most of the time. So I'm going to assume that both teams are going to favor the left side, but we'll end up seeing. One of them might end up just trying to just hyper offense, go, just try to end the game as fast as possible.
I think that's a very strong analogy too. Is just go. Try to take that Rainmaker all the way home. That's gonna be the one I'll be to see as we're about to load in. Okay, I see some of the names there in the splash tag. We're just gonna have to roll with that one. But what I do know that one is gonna be Alpha side. Other side is gonna be Krill Streak. I have a lot of questions. Tell us about it first, here, Par.
Okay, so we're seeing out of Pelican, we have a cooler plus tent, brush, and S blast. Let them cook. I don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, we have a whole bunch of something a little bit less strange from Krill Streak. We have the gold dynamo for chump spam, and then we have a carbon roller, which has kind of been seeing an uptick recently.
So unfortunately, Par, I'm gonna have to say that I have seen a lot more S-Blast than I care to admit with the Booyah Bomb. That's the specific thing there as well. They're gonna break through the first checkpoint. That'll be Pelican. They'll be bringing that one through. I see the Inkbat Tenebro will be used a lot just to help protect this Rainmaker bush, but I don't think we're gonna give you enough time here, because that is that Rainmaker back being used, and so it'll be all the way down to 1 point remaining effectively, and literally will need to be the KO from Krill Streak if they want to make it happen. Krill Streak's like, no, we are not letting you KO. We're just gonna force the reset if anything. Oh, that's a great push from Pelican.
Okay, now that I've seen it in action, I see the sauce. The Ink Brush has a really easy time going over all the grades on this map, and the vac to protect the fast KO is definitely something that they wanted to abuse, alongside the high kill power of the S Blast. Not really good painting power from the team, but it's going to have to do. They have a huge lead off of this. The onus is entirely on Krill Streak to try and get back into this game.
I mean, there is still plenty of time at the very least for Krill Streak, but the problem also has been that Krill Streak, as they got delayed, is the fact that they had to play defense for the past minute and a half, and there's almost no contest. I was supposed to say that was going to be the KO, but no. Once again, Krill Streak is at least clutch right before the Rainmaker gets slammed home. Are they going to pick up this Rainmaker, force the reset once more? No. Camel's going to be the one that's going to try to push up with the Rainmaker there, but the brush skirmishes once more. 1/2 is gone, but there is 3 down once more. Pelicans win a lot of these fights here, Par, and that's the wipe.
It's a wipe, but the Rainmaker is on the... no, actually, it is still on the upper platform. They could potentially scroll this into a KO, especially since they're getting some staggers. Though now they have an Ink back. They're effectively 2v2 right now. Nope.
No,
all right,
not anymore.
Yep. Not anymore.
Yeah, don't worry. I think a lot of stuff just happened there. I'll quickly chime in here. So we had Krill Streak at least be able to hold up. That Ink Vat dropping by the way down to the bottom platform. I get the idea. They were trying to use it to help protect that Rainmaker push. Exactly what they tried to do in that first push alone. But again, Krill Streak defense is good. The problem is right now is that they need to convert into some sort of offense. Pelican's just kind of running circles around them right now, Par.
High damage output is what we have on Krill Streak right now, and unfortunately that high damage output is not being complemented with a whole lot of paint either. This is both low paint value comps right now, basically relying entirely on the Zap and the Dynamo / Ink Brush, I guess, for all the paint output. And unfortunately, this is kind of leading into a battle for control over this bridge in particular, as Krill Streak has been having trouble getting into their... Oh no, that's a disconnect.
Yeah, that is a good old disconnect there from as this game is okay. Okay,
no.
what has happened here? I think the Pelican, this is a I don't think there's really much to say here. It's a 2v4 situation. Perma 2 down there on the side of Pelican. Krill Streak might be able to swing this the other direction. Again, normally the script for me whenever I see a 4v3 here, Par, is you just have to play perfect in a 3v4 situation. I would not be shocked that Pelican may eventually just have to start throwing in the white flag or try to see if they can win out some of these fights. For better or for worse, 1:10 left to go on the clock here, Par.
Mercifully, they have only a minute left on the clock, and they happen to have the combination of NZAP plus S-Blast. They should still be able to make this work, especially since it's a KO or lose situation for Krill Streak. They can stall it out, especially if they decide to hang out over here.
Yeah. And they were at least able to put the Rainmaker on that corner. So Krill Streak will actually having a little bit of a difficult time, but they have to... what are the weapons we have? We have an S-Blast, but the S-Blast is gone. Now it's just a lone Zap that may have issues fighting, but the Suction Bomb, what on earth? They actually got a pick as well. The chumps are dished out. They're still able to get picks left and right here. No, it's just Naruto and the rest of that crew. The rest of one person, excuse me, the one that's winning the Rainmaker. I may have to take this one over here, Par, because this could be a lot happening here as you are down to 54 seconds remaining. If the Booyah Bomb lands into Camo, they're the only one alive. The fact they're playing that one patiently is good. Is that Booyah Bomb not able to get anybody? No, not quite yet. Two members are spawned back in. Camo is the one that's there. They just have to collapse onto the other members. This is at least overtime for better for worse. Yeah, it's the wipeout. Okay, that's game. GG, well played. So unfortunate there, Par. Perma 2 down, and Krill Streak takes game 1 just because of all that.
Leave it to Pelican to make things still really interesting in spite of the fact that they were permanently 2 down. I will say Krill Streak, I think in most worlds should be able to capitalize off of the fact that they're 2 down, but Pelican played to their outs. They played to their outs extremely well. They had to make, and Krill Streak, they were playing panicked for a lot of the back half of that game because of the fact that they rushed the Rainmaker up the ledge, which is why the Suction Bomb ended up catching them. So, and they were just trying to push it to end the game as fast as possible. No, you have to make sure to get the picks that you need. There's only 2 people, and one of them is an S-Blast you need to respect.
You want to know the interesting here, Par? If you want to hear me out, I don't think Pelican's I don't think Pelican's that worried about losing that one. To be frank,
no.
My theory is this. Because you went perma 2 down in a very unfortunate situation. That is a map that you probably should have won with the way the score went. You noted there too. They had their outs. So you had an S-Blast and the NZAP, and the Suction Bomb able to take out the Rainmaker on that rush. Krill Streak still had to respect Pelican even with a Zap and an S-Blast. But we saw for a majority of the game before the disconnect, Par, they were winning a lot of fights. Krill Streak was stuck at base for about a minute and a half plus. Mm-hmm. So unless Pelican is tilted by whatever happened in that perma 2 down situation, part of me thinks that they're not two-phased at all.
I wouldn't be phased if I were them. They from the performance that we saw game 1, they should be favored to go on to win games 2 and 3. That being said, we have much more traditional maps. Their Rainmaker's layout is very odd and unique. You kind of end up developing unique strats because of that. Hagglefish Zones and Museum and Clan Blitz Museum are both maps where you can basically just run the tried and true and be fine. And I will give it, and again, Pelican is definitely playing with a lot of heads-up knowledge. The fact that they decided to take the Rainmaker and put it in the worst possible spot for Krill Streak to waste as much time as possible was definitely just okay, this sucks, but we are going to do the best that we can with the tools that we have available.
How about the fact that they held on until OT in a perma 2-down situation? That's almost the reason why I note that is it's very unheard of, because usually when you're perma 2-down, you have to play incredible. You have to understand your situation at that point in time. You have just the zap and that S blast with the Booyah bomb. The Booyah bomb was being patient. They're just trying to. The win condition literally was land the Booyah bomb right to where the Rainmaker could predictably be, and they had that farmed up correctly as well. The problem is the Booyah bomb just missed. Now their next out is to just get the pick on the Rainmaker, which they just weren't able to. Krill Streak realizes that, all right, we actually still need to play smart. So I'll give an out for this. Pelican, there too, shouldn't be too worried. Now it's time, possibly, now you know there earlier, possibly try and choose strategies coming up here, especially in Hagglefish zones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I would say that the main thing that again, the main thing that I noted from Pelican that game was just the fact that they just seemed to have they had their nerves down. They were able to pick the right decision to do given the situation they were in. That kind of mentality, if they can keep that up, not let the double disconnect get to them, is going to do them very, very well going into zones and clan blitz.
The other theory too, as well, is you just have to hope that whatever happened in the disconnect. Now we can infer if it's an internet issue or something else crazy behind the scenes. I'm not gonna make any assumptions here for the record audience, but you have to hope that doesn't become the trend for the rest of the map. So I'd imagine just possibly looking to get the stabilizer, just running off as a one-off thing. That's gonna be the thing I'm gonna be noting to see there out of Pelican. But again, Pelican probably. Again, the fact that they were able to break that home to 1 point remaining, or literally just close to KO, and it took almost everything going against Pelican for Krill Streak for that to happen, is going to be the thing I'd be intrigued about. Now, Par, I'll also ask you, on the side of Krill Streak, they were stuck at base for a minute and a half, and now they're going into a map that everybody's going to get this is going to end up seeing. Excuse me. I wouldn't be shocked if Krill Streak has to look for ways to adjust as we are loaded into zones. Par. What? Okay, I was gonna say, are they gonna change anything? No, never mind. I take that back. Actually, I think it's also only one.
No, it's actually a pretty massive switch up going on the side of Krill Streak over here. We still have the Carbon Roller, but now we have the regular Dynamo for the cooler, and we have a Junior for the bubble and the Tri-Strike Octo Shot. Big change up going into mid.
Yeah, that's actually kind of don't mind this, especially trying to use that Junior and at least that Octo, as you noted there, for the extra painting. But also the other thing too is Pelican is still playing like it's just game one all over again. And look at how far up they moved, by the way, here, Par. It's once you take zones, the next step that you got to do is try to force that lockout on the Krill Streak, and they're still winning a lot of these fights here, Par.
Yeah, this is a brutal lockout right now. They're staggering Krill Streak right now. They still have two specials up to just the Tri-Strike up right now. This is a really, really good position. Pelican has even got the tent on top of the the tent, the tarp, whatever you call that. I don't remember.
I don't blame you at all. Maybe I think it's I was about to say it was the canopy, but the canopy's on the other side, so that's not like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right whatsoever. So I'll just say it's also the tent. That one. Okay, that was awesome. Able to get two members out of there. But somehow they're not able to move up just yet here, Par. It's going to be 10 points remaining. Trip Strikes, I believe, will force the neutral. They're able to take two out. Yeah, they're able to get the zone split. But Pelican's able to take home 8 points remaining. That's at least a good start for Pelican.
Splash Shot Junior bombs are just built different. I don't know what to tell you. They just do things that other bombs can't.
Nothing else. No. Now, Krill Streak in the same vein is like, all right, well, Pelican literally just locked this out for as long as they could. Let's see if we can replicate the exact same success. They don't have a Junior, I'll tell you that much, for the splat bombs, but they do have other weapons that they can take to their arsenal. Brush probably going down at least might buy them some time, but it was also assisted with the cooler, I believe, from the zap. So the Booyah bomb, by the way, is going to be dished out here, trying to force at least a neutral there. Okay, it's going to be the zone split. It's a wipeout to Pelican. At least holds 30 points remaining as the score for Krill Streak here, Par.
I'm really liking the way that Pelican it just immediately takes space as soon as they are in advantage, and it's happening now again. They have two down going into this next fight. They're taking space. The tent is just allowing them to take so much space, especially in conjunction with the cooler and the S-Blast, also being able to apply a lot of lethal pressure.
And the big thing I want to see here from Krill Streak is how do you respond out of this push here that that Pelican, excuse me, has right away. Well, this Booyah Bomb might be used to try to deter Krill Streak for just a few seconds. It's actually buying themselves enough time. One Trip Strike, one part of that Trip Strike hits the wall, which is a little unfortunate. It's not gonna be enough paint there. It's for sure the wipeout, and Pelican rebounds nicely. All right. Apparently everything in Splatoon land is trying to take us perma 2 down last map. Let's just take home game 2. We weren't too phased at all. Game 3 is gonna be coming up here, Par, and it will take place on Museum Clans.
Yeah. Leveraging the insane kill power that is going on in Pelican's comp, it was just brutal lockout after brutal lockout to make everything happen. It was a good bomb and a lot of really well-used specials that got Krill Streak back into the game, and they could have potentially held a little bit better, but the bubble didn't end up getting too much value when it was popped. In advantage, and obviously in disadvantage, the weakness of that team comp is that their retake options were a Carbon's Zuka, which it's not getting many of, and the Octoshot's trip strikes, which is good for spacing, but not necessarily, and forcing people to move, but not necessarily guaranteed to get picks.
That was actually kind of was noting there. I think they went for a slight for a slightly different change, just knowing because they're having to provide a little bit of paint onto zones. That was kind of the theory I'd imagine was with the Junior and the Octoshot or the T-Tech, if you will, being the change. Now, just like the first set we had earlier today, we are going to a game 3 here. It's Museum de Alfonsino Clan Blitz. We see that Pelican has they're willing to cook once more with the same comp, and we do see some tweaks there from Krill Streak. Again, brutal lockout after brutal lockout. I'd imagine, Par, your thoughts on whether Krill Streak may want to consider changing things up from what you saw in game 2?
My opinion, they have to find a weapon that is going to take some pressure off of the Carbon roller. That is the majority of the kill power that they're looking for, and the Carbon is getting completely bullied out by the combination of the S Blast and the Tent. Right now, they need something to help pair with it a little bit better. I think if you change anything, I think the Junior is probably the thing that you need to change to something else that can fight. Some sort of midline weapon probably ends up working out pretty well. Or hell, even a second cooler option that ends up pairing with the Dynamo, because the Dynamo's cooler output's still not that great at the end of the day.
That's good, and that's what I'm gonna be curious about is if Krill Streak wants to adjust. Okay, minor adjustments right away from Pelican, and on this side, okay, so the change they're gonna have is that Camel's gonna be on the Slaughter Machine, Nova's gonna be on the 52. Teeny just with a quick weapon swap, it's just gonna be them on the Wiper. That's the weapon changes that we have right away, Par.
Okay, so we don't have the Tent anymore. We have a Wiper instead. This is going to basically just kind of lean more into the offense, less relying on the Tent to slowly push forward, and more about, like, let's just take all of the space as fast as possible, put all the pressure on, and it's working out yet again. 3-down stagger.
Yeah, three down stagger already coming up here. It's gonna be one half picking up the power clam. Gonna go down actually, and I think somebody may have fell into the water. I think that was the S Blast there as well. What on earth exactly happened there? I can hear Par just cackling a little bit there. Yes, Pelican picks up 2 power clams. Maybe a little slowed down at the moment. They do have 2 specials available though, Par. Though that was a little comedic.
That was like an Olympic dive straight into the pool with how fast they went in there. It's actually a pretty good position for Krill Streak right now because of the fact that they end up going 3 up. But that being said, this Wiper is trying to do something sneaky. They end up picking the Carbon roller and not achieving too much else. But oh, the Dynamo's going off right now, holding a lot of space despite the fact that they're at a numbers disadvantage.
Yeah, accidentally chimed in there. My apologies there, Par. Yeah, that Dynamo is going to do. That's awkward. So let's cut back to the map screen.
Yeah.
Let's we gotta figure out what exactly happened there. Now, we're gonna have to hear word on whether that might have been a lobby DC. And Par, just for your record, we're probably the most that we can infer is that something happened in the lobby. And it sounds like it looks like from what we are hearing from our lovely producer. By the way, shout outs to our producer Pipe Dream here tonight, taking us through. That I believe was that wasn't everyone, DC. So nope. What you saw there was indeed the end of the first set of iterations. Okay then. Well,
yeah, that was, as we were fading out, I had noticed that, like, several people had DC'd at the same time, that, like, the the error message popped up. So I was like, oh, that probably was just the match exploding for no reason, as this game tends to do sometimes.
Only sometimes there, Par.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, only sometimes. I think we both have seen it in some of the other places that we've been there for sure. And I'm also getting confirmation, and also normally you don't do this, but also just getting a quick confirmation from a few in chat. Yeah, they might have been a little spooked by the everyone DC. So I can only imagine. I'm again guessing here, which again we'll have to wait for the confirmation on how this plays out. I think they're just gonna get everybody back in the lobby, get everybody all set back up. Par, welcome to SOS 158. Of course, we couldn't have it any other way, right? We got literally almost everything here.
You know what they say, no plan survives contact with the enemy.
that is exactly true. So you know, I could actually relate to this because there was a time I did a tournament. There was the what we had the mass disconnect. Like, that was a thing that just happened. And then the most I could do with my co-com partner was okay, are we gonna do a choose your adventure game for exactly what happened there? But in this case, it is an everyone DC. So as you know, there are sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes that happens, right?
I will say, just gotta get a gold medal for that dive into the water, though. Beautiful. No notes.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I completely forgot that we had the S-Splash just dive into the Olympics are unfortunately over, but we got to give that a score, right? Do you want to give it a score? Are you saying you're giving it a gold medal?
I'm giving it a gold medal.
Okay.
Congrats.
I'm gonna be bluntly honest here, Par. I forget how the scoring system works in Olympic.
Don't worry, I have no idea either.
Okay, cool. So we can just make up the scores. I honestly think it is just literally out of 10 or something crazy like that. So probably a 10 out of 10 performance from the S-Blast. Well done. Done. You win a gold medal. Yeah.
I will say also, I'm not saying this to be mean to the S-Blast. It was just very funny. You're doing great. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries. I mean, honestly, to give credit to the S-Blast user, which I will have to dig up the name for the S-Blast, because we gotta give you a lot of credit. The S-Blast throughout the set, by the way, too. From game 1, game 2, and game 3. Honestly, I played very stellar up to this point. Sometimes you gotta have a little bit of a comedic moment getting caught by our lovely producer here, and then we just see a very funny moment that occurs. We gotta take over. Go ahead.
Splatoon's just an inherently funny game. It can be a little bit hard to just remember that every now and again, because so much of this game is just grinding for tournament results and everything like that. But at the end of the day, this is a funny game about a walking cephalopods that shoot funny paintball guns at each other. It's very, very, very funny. You know what the funny thing is, Par, is I don't think I've actually heard Splatoon be described as. Okay, I've heard it be described as the funny Squid Game. That at least I've heard. I didn't exactly get the hold on, sentence is bad. It took me a second to realize. Oh yeah, just the funny people. That got me for a hot second. Hey, a thesaurus is useful sometimes.
That is very true, right? That's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, yeah. Anyways, I think we're just getting. I think we are just getting everything all squared away. We will be loading back here into this this third map here, Museum de Alfonsino Plan Blitz. Which, by the way, while we are busy thinking about S-Blast doing Olympic dives there in Museum, which by the way we will be queuing up here shortly. Game 3 will be ready to go right after this. We will not cut over the break, just for your programming note. Now we're back here. Oh, okay. So we do have a color swap, by the way. So we'll just give you guys reset here. Krill Streak, I believe, is going to be on the alpha side this time, and it will be Pelican on the Bravo side. No weapon changes as expected. The only thing that they changed was just switching sides. I'd imagine because of the host change.
Yeah, more than likely, it's not a huge deal. We got one down on each team just to start off, which is going to make neutral much more interesting. It looks like right now Pelican is looking to just go as they have been, but this time they're actually getting punished for it. The Power Clam having to jump back, and they're just kind of staggering right now.
Yeah, as cats. There we go. There's the S-Blast. use it there. Just getting Splat out there. Of course, having a very stellar set so far at this stage. So now both teams, by the way, Barb, ooh, they are able to get the pick on the Teeny. And Krill Streak, by the way, has taken out 2 members. Open up the space there, and it is for the Pelican backwards. This is going to be Krill Streak's time to move up.
The machine is cooking real fierce right now, managing to buy a ton of space, getting a lot of key picks, giving Krill Streak the ability to take an early lead. Unfortunately, they are going to get cleaned out, but with the speed that Pelican's been playing at, they are going to probably be able to take enough space to at least get onto their plat, but they're probably not going to be able to score directly off of the wipeout.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, the respawns there coming out of Krill Streak just very quick, just realizing, all right, we have to defend our plat as much as we can just provide that opening, but
the Satsui no Hado. That's the only way I could describe it. The shadows. Oh my god.
You know what? I think Pelican was just like, yeah, we're done. we're done. Let's just get the 4 power clams out of the way. And call it just that. Okay, that was easily the blink you miss moment. There's not much to sum up here because we do need to get the 3rd game in here shortly. Pelican, yes, unfortunate perma 2-down situation from the first game. Pelican just quickly recovered. I'm still in awe and speechless by the 4 power clam push at the end.
So quickly too. They've managed to convert a wipeout from the defense into 4 power clams and another wipeout effectively into winning the game from 100 in like 20 seconds. That is a level of coordination that is just impressive to see anytime you get to see it.
Honestly, part of me wants to say that's almost a world record for 100-0 for a Splatoon push. Someone will note the time that push take. That's all I'm gonna note on that. Somebody out there, I want you to do it. But either way, Pelican 2-1. They'll be taking the set home. We do have game 3 up and ready to go as we were having to iron out a bit of the delays here. As yes, remix against Ink Floyd. Ink Floyd's been around here for quite some time here. I'll give you the notes here. Remix. They have Lagoon, which I have seen from the collegiate side of the fence, leading out their team here. There with Bug Splash. Wow, I cannot speak. Bug Slap, Tori PNG, and Brat, and then Ink Floyd. They've been around for quite some time. Corvidae, notable names there here too. They also got an awesome logo as well if you guys check them out. So those are the notes there for Remix and Ink Floyd. I'll get you the records here soon. But Par, we do have a new set of maps here for this 3rd and final round, I believe, here in the group stages. Inkblot Art Academy Tower Control is going to be our leadoff map here to start off this set. Any thoughts on that first?
Have you seen this map mode before? This is the one that every team has practiced on to death across 2 games now, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember if this was commonly played in 2, but it has been here since Splatoon 3 launched, and I don't think it's going anywhere. This is where we are going to probably see just the standard team comp from both teams and see how well it gets them as they go into this matchup. It's the other 2 where I'm going to start to question if they're going to switch things up, where we see Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track, one of my favorite maps as a tri-stringer main, and Splat Zone's Mahi Mahi.
Yeah, so, it's funny, Par, because you said, have you seen this map mode combination before? I a certain pal on inside, almost the most common counterpick map if you've seen tournaments with counterpick, according to other places, especially Super Jump a few months ago. The first set I remember was immediate counterpick Inkblot TC. I'm sorry, Pop Gun and Brush, if you had to remember that. But either way, just also to tee you up here with the teams. Both teams, by the way, 0-2 in the win-loss record. So this is literally just the winner will just advance to the Mako bracket, Lantern bracket for the team that loses this one. That's what's at stake here. I would normally like to say that I'm excited to see what both teams dish on Inkblot RTC. Part of me is also just wondering to see if both teams are just going to play what has been well practiced for them in this map combination.
I honestly just go with what you know. That's kind of always the safe strat with Tower Inkblot. It is a map that has been practiced to death. It has been labbed to death. There is not a whole lot of innovation that you really can do on this map. It is, and it's also like pretty well balanced, I would say. There's a couple of weapons that probably have a little bit of a stronger bent on them. I would say like anything that can hit over walls is pretty good here. Like if you see a slosher or a machine, for instance, I would not be surprised. But that being said, there is always, you know, something in my jank-loving soul. Just show us something silly. I would love to see it, please.
You know, I know I'm gonna pander to you here, Par. Bonus points for some reason if a tri-stringer shows up. I would love to wish that part of silliness.
Oh, I love my beloved funny bow, but I know not many people continue to play it right now.
You know, maybe, you know, if a team were to dish out the funny bow here, as we are going to be loading here. Remix, by the way, on the Alpha side, Ink Floyd on the Bravo. Maybe we'll get to see it someday. It will not be here. At least I like to say, well, the SOS is back, but it's on the hands of an Ink Floyd member. Simsom has it, and okay. I'm noticing the blob. Go ahead.
Inkblot, we've literally are looking at an offshoot of the current meta right now. It is the midline Sectric pencil comp, while meanwhile we have a Blob, Sploosh, and a Rapid Pro Deco on with a N-Zap, and they're currently the ones in the lead right now with the numbers advantage and taking the tower. Remix is cooking, and I love it.
You know what? Would it be safe to say that you are a huge fan of the Rapid Blaster Pro, the RBP Deco, if you will? When that kit was out? Yeah.
I am. The Rapids are some of my favorite weapons, and I'm really happy to see it. This is like the only weapon that's good with angle shooter.
You know what? You'll get to see in action here today with the Sploosh and the Blob Blobber, which I just did not expect to see at all in my adventures. Actually, I expect to see the Sploosh, but not the Blob. But neither here or there. That's gonna be the first checkpoint, by the way, cleared from Remix. There is a core that is gonna be available, but it is gonna be dished out. It's gonna be a very defensive core. It's gonna have Furnicus have to retreat just a bit here to pick it up. Few members are going to be respawning here. That will be the hammer being dished out. On top of it, it is going to be just a trade 1-for-1, and it will be Remix still pushed up to the second checkpoint here, Bar.
Look at how much pressure the Rapid is able to put onto the high ground from here. It is such a good positioning for them to just be constantly able to deny the high ground from being able to peek over the ledges, because otherwise that happens. You just get set up for someone else. Right now, the Rapid's putting in a lot of work, and the Blob and the Sploosh being able to compensate for the low amount of paint it outputs.
And the fact that it's still able to roll this one through up to the third checkpoint, and they're still pressuring out Ink Floyd here for just a few moments. They are having to retreat the tower because the rest of Ink Floyd's about to collapse on them, and the Blob Blobber is sandwiched between a few members of Ink Floyd. That will be the tower resetting here. Zap going down for sure. The tower will be resetting unless a member trying to sneak their way through is going to happen. But Furnicus gets the splat onto Bug Slap. That's going to be it, though. Tower is going to be fully resetting back to mid. Remix gets a really strong push with 78 points cashed in.
Really strong push, and honestly, it's going to be a hard one because the second checkpoint is obviously, we all know by now, it is the hardest part of the map to get through. But once you're through it, you can end up snowballing really, really fast. And right now, with the cooler and having everyone getting into the position, this is looking pretty good to start for Ink Floyd.
Yeah, this is a good return push here from Ink Floyd. They are going to trade 1-for-1 right out of the gate. There is going to be just the two members. They are likely going to have to retreat within this push. The rest of the supporting members got taken out there from a strong defense from Remix there. At least you clear the first checkpoint, but as you noted there too, that second checkpoint is just so hard to contest on top of it, and Ink Floyd just not able to take full advantage of it yet. They're going to have to just reset here, but they do have two specials available for them.
Back to neutral. There's a special advantage clearly in favor of Ink Floyd. A cooler is popped to try and see if their Remix can keep going. Brain stopped. Take over.
All right, I'll help you out. I'll help you out here for a bit. Remix is still trying to move ahead. As you know, there too, they did have two specials that were up. That was the Trip Strike. That was the Booyah Bomb. But they spent some of those resources here in a bit and just not able to make that one happen. Remix is actually moving up ahead here. They cleared the second checkpoint. That's going to be the one that's advantage too. They did toss out the Ultra Stamp. Cooler has been dished out on top of it. This is going to be a very aggressive push from Remix. They did lose the Sploosh. There goes Lagoon. They have gone down as well. Bug Slap is going to be the one that's just dishing out the Ink Storm there with their Blob, while at least trying to build up a little bit of space there. Bug Slap somehow didn't go down, but they will finally go down by the end of it. Tower not quite a better push yet. Not able to get a little bit more points to work with, but they were able to at least get that as another Olympic Diamond Inkblot TC.
Oh, I love the combination of jumping for the cooler only to immediately fall into the water. You don't even get the fast respawn off of that. That's so tragic.
So we have a collection of 2 S-Blast players going into the water, going into the drink in today. I feel like that's been a record here.
It is an occurrence in the... God, this game is too funny.
Welcome everybody to the Funny Squid Game named Splatoon 3. I'll take it over here. I'll take it over from here as we are down to the last 35 seconds at the stage. Ink Floyd have their work cut out for them. They still have to clear out the second checkpoint. They still have to make use of what they see here. Gay Shark is still using that slosher, trying to see if they can pressure the rest of Remix out. It is going to be 20 seconds left. Trip Strikes are available, but these will be a very offensive triple Ink Strikes that they have. They have to look for the other members here as the Rapid Blaster Pro deck, goes down. Verticus throws that Trip Strike across the board, and they just need to ride this tower out to see if they can find the fights against Remix, but Remix is scattered everywhere, trying to use Ink Floyd for just a bit. This will be at least be the overtime, and Lagoon is looking for the side, able to get a nice pick onto the Snipe Rider. Yes, you are 1 for 1, and they will ride the tower. They're able to take out the blob, and that will be 61 remaining, but they leave the tower just too soon. Remix retakes it. Remix takes game 1 here, parted to kick off the last best of 3.
Everyone rushing for the tower right at the end. Easy pickings for the blaster every time. That was a well played game from Remix with their off the wall comp that I'm really impressed with how well it ended up performing right there. Honestly, they managed to leverage the Rapid Pro's ability to control so much space from so far away from such safe positions, and combine that with the extremely high paint output of the Blob Lobbler and the Sploosh with the Zap Cooler output to back it all up. It was honestly a really heads-up team comp that ended up working out really, really well for Tower Control Inkblot. But the question is that Rapid going to stick around for Rainmaker?
You know, the interesting train of thought is, I've seen some Blaster works. But would the Rapid Pro Deco make sense here at all?
I think it would. The reason, while it doesn't do very much into the Rainmaker shield, you have a Blob Lubber, you have a Sploosh-O-Matic, one of which could be running Object Shredder. I did not get to see whether or not that they were. I wasn't paying enough attention to the abilities because I was trying to process the team comps. But the Rapid Pro, critically, once again, is able to control a lot of space from low ground to high ground, and is able to do it from far away. This is really, really good going around the bend from the route that everyone takes. And something that you need to pay attention to, the Killer Whale. This is a very, very good whale map for specifically that. This is one of the best tri-stringer maps in my opinion because of that. It is like, Killer Whale is just really, really good on Rainmaker Humpback for just making from the checkpoint to the goal much, much safer. It is really, really hard to put up a defense when you just cannot line up with that at all.
That's gonna be the one I'd be intrigued to see if they want to keep that Rapid Pro deck. There too, it's a strong Killer Whale map, but also very friendly slosher map there too, especially with the ledges you have to work around with if you wanted to attack from that angle, of course. But Humpback Pump Track Rainmaker, of course, I get a lot of nightmares with this map from the Splatoon 2 days. At least there's a checkpoint on both sides to at least slow down the fast nature of this map. And the condensed nature, I guess I always stay on top of it, so I'm going to be intrigued to see what both teams want to do. Remix I believe, may have had a small roster swap here, if I'm not mistaken. That is not a Rapid Pro Deco, excuse me. What is going on both of these teams? That is a Dreadringer from Gay Shark. Okay, I am actually kind of intrigued.
Okay, so we're still running a slosher, but now we have a Carbon, we have an Ink. Okay, it's still Cooler v Cooler, Zap Cooler instead of the Pencil. But now we have a whole bunch of picks just for the map mode. You have the Carbon Rollers, you have the Dreadringer, and for some reason we have the I guess the Mist Vac. I see it. Both of those things are individually good on this map, but I don't necessarily know if this was the correct play over the Deco.
The funny thing is I've seen a lot of teams get very tied up to using the Ink Back in Rainmaker, and I get why. Trying to see if they can get a lot more points once you clear the first checkpoint. I feel like that's the train of thought you could have with that. But there too, maybe the Deco could have been the better choice. But the other, so gonna be intrigued to see if they can take advantage. As we do get to see second 4 punch rain is going to be the score for Remix. Ink Floyd, they do lose to. This could still be the sneaky checkpoint because Hentai would dodged all the shots, and they got picked up by the Zuka there. Raven kind of in a weird position to say the least, but there will be no points on the board for Ink Floyd.
Hey, did you know that there's a ramp underneath the stage, like a skateboarding ramp? It's really neat. I actually didn't know that. Anyway, this is going to turn into a quick checkpoint. That's kind of why that positioning was actually really favored for Remix right there. Ink Floyd, unfortunately, bringing the Rainmaker to a really bad spot. I know from experience that spot is not good to bring the Rainmaker.
And the unfortunate thing too, because I think that's the first time I've seen that left checkpoint get cleared the way to. It's primarily because of where the Rainmaker got dropped, I'd imagine, because Lagoon was able to just pop that one through, like, oh, the checkpoint's right here. We don't need to bring it across the other direction.
Yeah, it was a series of messy fights leading up to this point, and honestly, it's still a little bit messy, but right now we have Ink Floyd bunched up all in one space, and we've got some specials coming out right now. I could see, yeah, we've got a pick going on. I think this could be a good chance for Remix to start pushing, try and get some real points on the board beyond the checkpoint, but this Reef Slider might have something to say about that. Never mind.
Reef Slider, well, there was the idea. That was the thing. Remix, by the way, is able to take 2 members out. That's a crucial pick onto the Rainmaker as well, at least forcing that Rainmaker to get dropped. A few members of Ink Floyd still trying to contest against the Lone Roller, and now it's Lagoon trying to fight for that one. It's just gonna be that the Rainmaker being popped as it stands. It will be a few members through for Ink Floyd. They're still trying to fight some of that one. That ends in a trade. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 trade. I think this Rainmaker might just stay where it stands unless Remix is able to build the space. Which no, it will reset. Par, we're back to the Rainmaker resetting back to mid.
This is still really good for Remix right now. They're still in control. The Zap ending up getting away with murder right there, going 2-for-1 in a position where it was isolated, fighting 2v1, and it wins. And now that's converting into a push, where there aren't any specials available, but like there's just so much space, and it's just a massive lead that now it's going to become much harder for Ink Floyd to get back into this game.
That's what I'm gonna be a little worried about here from Ink Floyd right then and there is how do you at least get that first checkpoint? You at least are points on the board. Lagoon, I believe, just got that pick. Yes, getting the pick onto Hentai, and there will be a delayed 3 down on top of it too. And Ink Floyd just trying to fly to the wind. There's as the Gay Shark, true to their name, trying to use the Reef Slider to just zoom right in, and it was able to get the pick after popping out of the Reef Slider. There's another delayed 3 down, but this time Remix loses 3, and that'll be the checkpoint cleared. At the very least part, Ink Floyd gets the checkpoint, if anything.
Ink Floyd gets the checkpoint. They're going to be able to start popping in. The Ink Vac is going to try and prevent them from taking as much space, and well, to some degree, it ended up working out. Though I didn't quite end up catching what exactly it was. Ink Floyd ends up going 3 down, which means we're right back into Remix's court because they have complete mid control, and Azuka is going to be boxing Ink Floyd out right now.
Any thoughts on what you think Ink Floyd needs to do here in this stage, as we are going to be seeing a trade of the Carbon Rollers? What do we think Ink Floyd needs to be a little bit more aggressive with about 50 seconds left?
I think specifically they need to focus down the Blob and the Rapid. They are controlling the pace of the game way too much. They need to set the Dreadringer up a little bit more. The Carbon needs to find themselves into good positions to use their Zukas. And probably just need to play a little bit more patiently. They just kind of keep walking into the Lion's Maw and getting picked, and it's not really working out for them right now.
And I'm going to be curious to see how Ink Floyd tries to respond. Again, this could be the last push unless they're able to rebound from the Rainmaker. They're going to have to find the picks there. Moving a little bit forward. They might be able to get the lead. Yes, they do. They get the lead with 21 points remaining, and 2 members are down on Ink Floyd. Now, Remix has to be the one that has to get the lead back. They are trying to take out Hentai. Hentai is able to at least escape, but it forces a lot of distraction there from Remix. Now, they're the one that has to pick up the Rainmaker. They had the lead, then they lost in the last 15 seconds. Rainmaker picked up, by the way, from Lagoon. This is their last chance to make it count. 2-for-2 trade on both sides. It is going to buy themselves some time. They're going to have to get the jumps in here. Bug Slap, excuse me, is making the jump. So are the other members. Ink Floyd just needs to get the lone pick onto Lagoon. The rest of the team starts to move up. They do have 2 specials available. It is going to be the Zuka. It is going to be the Reef Slider. It is going to be available for the Dreadringer on top of it. Carbon Roller is still lurking large. They're trying to get the pick onto it, but the Carbon Roller is shut down. They only get a trade off of it. They are able to take 2 members out for Ink Floyd. This push is still going strong. There's the Ink back. This could be the lead once again, but here's Hentai from the side. They take out the Rainmaker holder there, and for the 3rd straight set here in groups on stream, Par, we do go to game 3 once again.
If I was Remix right now, I would be having to fight every urge right now not to tilt from that. That was highway robbery that I just witnessed, stealing the lead away from just a very well taken opportunity, honestly, on the part of Ink Floyd in order to steal the lead away with so little time left, but then also just having to push all the way across the map in order to do that. It flips the script entirely on where just one opportunity gets you a huge advantage right at the end. Classic Rainmaker, if I'm going to be honest.
Would you say that would be a very classic moment that happens in Humpback Rainmaker, if anything?
Classic Rainmaker in general, but this is a Humpback thing as well, I would say. Really just the main thing is that like this is putting Ink Floyd up a game and going to tie the series up. Like I said though, I think the psychological warfare on this is going to be really real here. Just trying not to tilt from that is just really, really hard because like you have been in control for the game the entire time, only for it to slip away from your fingers right at the last second from just a momentary breach in your defense, and you're not able to convert the opportunity yet again. It's really unfortunate.
I can only imagine Remix is at least, again, what's at stake here. Winner goes to Mako bracket, loser down the Lantern to wrap it up. I know no matter which bracket you belong there, Par, you're still trying to at least not feel like it's like you could have won this if it took one last push. There's two highway robbery from Ink Floyd, just be able to swipe that lead with the last 15 seconds. And well, Par, they have to go to Mahi zones. What are your thoughts if you were either the captain or a player on Remix then knowing that the lead slipped away from you in the last 15? If you have,
I would really hope that my team is very practiced on Mahi and that you have a plan, because you need to fall back on that and not let tilt get to you. Let's see what ends up happening as we load in, and I see a dowser. We have a dowser. I'm excited.
Okay,
roller.
It's the dowser trip strikes and the vanilla roller. All right, go ahead first.
Okay. All right, once again, Cooler v Cooler, but this time the Zap has been swapped out once again for the pencil, but now we have Zap Dowser on the side of Remix to change things up. The custom Dowser having the Burst Bomb Tri-Strike going to be able to control space if it gets into good positions. But right now it looks like there's a bit of a knockdown drag-out brawl going on for mid.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too, is that there was a lot of fighting that was happening around mid when all this is said and done. There's gonna be 2 members down. This could at least be the water level drop before the retake happens, which yes, it just barely breaks through water level dropping there. So the map starts to expand here. 90 points remaining and still counting, of course, with the first push of Remix. What am I talking about here? I'm still intrigued by this Delta Trip Strike weapon here. This is probably the second time I've taken notice of it. 2 members, by the way, down on Ink Floyd, made that 3. Remix will have the lead here shortly.
This is a team comp where I'm seeing like they're really punish heavy. They're like, you're going to control space, you're going to zone people out, and then you're going to punish them really, really hard. The counterpoint on Ink Floyd is that Ink Floyd really wants to be in the driver's seat, but right now they're just not. Remix is currently holding onto the point right now, and it's really, really hard to push into without the cooler. And honestly, with this stagger, this is really looking bad for Ink Floyd.
This is looking really tough for Ink Floyd, and Remix is still trying to pressure themselves up ahead. But this actually could be the stuff that they need. Oh, this definitely will be the stuff that they need. Restarter just having to charge in just to get the zones cap then and there. Much well-timed restarter at the very least, and members are still going down left and right. Ink Floyd has to retake. Honestly, though, 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. Still plenty of time at the very least for Ink Floyd. They might be able to get out of the penalty points here soon. They should be able to now.
Yeah, now that they're in a position to hold, I think that between the roller and the Dreadringer, they should be able to very easily set people up. And space people out. The retake power coming out of Remix is not quite as good as I would like for Mahi, but it could be good enough.
That's going to be good enough. May still be what Remix need, especially with the way this game has progressed there. It's only just the lone trip strikes that are available from Ink Floyd, and that's actually been the thing that honestly might be okay. It's like hey, we don't need to go for too many heavily retakes. We just need the retakes when we need them. They are able to take 2 members out just like that. It is just going to be the cooler that is going to be available. By the way, 2 specials on top of it as well, and it is going to be Days moving up ahead, just trying to pressure them out. This could actually be the KO up here soon. Just popping the Ultra Sand to throw the toss, and he does get Gage from the right-hand side, and that will be the roller also going down on top of it. This could be the KO coming up here soon as Stagger 3 down on top of it, and that is going to buy themselves enough time. Remix recovers very nicely here, Par, and they will take home the set 2-1.
Just fell back on what they know, and honestly, being able to leverage the unconventional nature of their blobsless sploosh core, just ending up working out really, really well in spite of whatever Ink Floyd had to throw at them.
You know there too that we know it from the end of game 2 with that Humpback Rainmaker lead swipe in the last 15 is to just not mentally tilt at all coming into the third map with Mahi zones. Remix didn't seem two-faced at all. Actually, they're like, okay then. Well, let's just play it. Let's just play our game.
They got the one. Ink Floyd got their one shot. They gave Remix a black eye, but you know, they still ended up winning.
That is certainly true. So here's the interesting thing. I think from what I've heard, we may have been the last set left remain to get the brackets all squared away. So this could be a much shorter break that we're going to cut to. But we'll see what ends up happening from then and there. But for now, we do have. But for now, with the final results of this one, Remix will win the set 2-1. They advance to Mako. Ink Floyd will play in the Lantern brackets to wrap up the group stage. That's going to be it for the group stages. We will be you will still hear me and Par on the mic for the first round of the Great White Bracket. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna cut to break. We will see you guys back for the first round of the Great White Brackets. You don't want to miss a thing.
See you shortly.
Welcome back, everybody, to SOS 158. So we're saying 158, if you will. We are back here now for the first round of the Great White Brackets. My name is Kyo. Par's still with me on the mic. Par, how are you feeling after the first three? First three awesome sets.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was not expecting all of them to go the distance, but here we are. A whole bunch of really interesting things that I've seen so far, and it's not going to end here. We're going on to Ship Shape Tower Control, another one of those unconventional kind of maps that I kind of feel like could potentially end up bringing out some odd stuff here and there. I do potentially see it being a pencil, BV pencil, but who knows? At this point, I know not to expect the normal here.
I mean, with the past two sets, I get you. But we'll look forward to Ship Shape Tower Control in a bit. But let's talk about the team. But I'll talk about the teams rather. We got Booyah X +1 and KTM X BZH, which I don't want to necessarily know what that what the letters mean, and I'm not gonna make any assumptions to it. Booyah X +1 and KTM X BZH, to my Sendo knowledge here, are both pickups. But it does feature members I do recognize. I believe Mocha and Kaioru are two, along with Bake from KTM as well. Booyah X +1, Squiddy and Benny are two members that I do recognize right away. So gonna be curious to see how both these teams, which by the way have finished first in their respective groups, coming out of group stages, how they get to deal in the Great White Brackets. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, going back to Ship Shape Cargo Code Tower Control, you noted there earlier, we saw a lot of wacky weapons, I guess we could say. So it's going to be intriguing to see what both teams want to dish out. And you said, and as you mentioned, best expected unexpected sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's especially true with Tower Control as one of the more divisive modes in this game I've noted, but Ship Shape especially is one of those maps that's very wide open and has a lot of long sight lines with a little bit of cover, but like still not as much as you would kind of expect. I kind of feel as if it is going to be a very backline focused kind of map, and I've always kind of found it difficult to defend on it, but that's me speaking personally, not having played competitively on the map terribly often, to be honest.
You know what? I get you, and most of what we would normally see is how teams take advantage past the first checkpoint. That's gonna be the intriguing thing. Now, I will admit, for a quick confession, I thought this was a zones map for a hot second because I was about to say reef slider shenanigans, so then I remembered it's Tower Control. Zones will be the last one there in the zones if we get to a game 3 for this particular set. Museum Clan Blitz, which flashbacks to a couple sets ago with the amazing push we saw earlier, makes a reappearance. So I would imagine a lot of teams will be well practiced onto that. They would be well practiced onto it anyway. What am I talking about? So, Par, I feel like we start off this first game here in this best of 3. I feel like anything that we could think about so far in terms of, pencil v pencil, as you noted, probably maybe there will be a break in the tradition, or maybe we will get actually something that's pretty close to tradition at this point.
It's entirely possible that we end up just seeing traditional stuff. I could see like room to be like, if I'm going to assume that we're going to see like the cooler midline spam sort of team archetype, then like maybe one of the midlines might be a little bit unconventional, more suited for tower control. Maybe we'll see a machine, for instance. Ooh, so but I'm honestly kind of expecting like whatever your standard team comp is, you probably want to warm it up here, because right afterwards you've got Clams on Museum and then Zones on Robo Ramen, both of which are extraordinarily common maps to see in also all modes tournaments.
And to a fair point too. Actually, I think we usually see this entire lineup make its way through in a lot of other places that we get to see. So I'm actually gonna be intrigued how each team approaches it. I think we've noted there too, both teams are just like, no, we'll just stick to comfort or what meshes around the rest of the other teams, or rest of our other members. Excuse me on that. Or we just go wacky and like, we're here with a pickup as over here too. Both teams, to my recollection, are pickups, unless Sendo lies to me again. In this case, so gonna be intrigued to see how this plays out. But of course, Par, and if it's anything that we've seen earlier today, anything that I have is just out the window at this point.
Yeah, you know, who knows? Maybe this is going to be the map where we finally see, like, I don't know, maybe like Seawall String. You know, maybe. You know,
For you, you want the tri-stringer though.
I would be happy with any bow. I do love all of the bows equally.
You do?
Okay, not equally. I do like the tri-stringer more than the others, but you know, Seawall String is like at least a pretty interesting weapon that's kind of had like a little bit of stints of playability lately. You know, who knows? Maybe I could see it being useful. This isn't like a terrible Wavebreaker map or anything.
You know, I wanted to see if someone would be silly enough to play a bow in one of the maps, but I think more often than not, I would normally see either a combination of a wall string. Reflux has actually made its way back into the forefront. Bizarrely enough, the Deco variant of all things too.
No, I'm not surprised.
You're not surprised?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, something that's always bothered me about Reflux is that the fact that it had been like consistently pigeonholed like for the longest time as being just that thing that paints a lot so that it can get a ton of missiles. But like, no, actually, it's got a whole lot of really other good traits that have been been slowly introduced to it throughout the patch cycle. How it's become better and better at fighting, and now with the most recent change where it's now able to charge in the air, the wall plus that makes it really, really hard to pin down if it's playing properly. And the Reef Slider just having like all the utility of being able to shred an object or being able to flip a zone really quickly. Honestly, I see where the value is in the Reflex Deco now, and I would probably prefer it over the vanilla kit now.
It's actually kind of intriguing that you noted that there too, because when I hear teams play the Deco, it's, you know, back at the meme that I always see when the Deco kit got released is like, what the heck is this kit supposed to do? Obviously, you know, the patch cycle obviously have changed a lot of things since. I've also heard, but I've seen both flavors be played in tournaments and leagues alike, but it ultimately is map dependent anyway. That's kind of what I've noticed. I've actually seen one team weaponize the vanilla Reflux to zone players out using the missiles, and it was also a very map dependent pick anyway, so I can only imagine that's situational. I think for you though, you probably do want to see a bow in general anyway. At least that's the dream.
I would love to see a bow. I would probably say that I would favor the vanilla kit if we are going to see Reflux at all, but at least for ship shape. But we'll end up seeing. We're going to be loading in right now, it looks like. Yep. Yeah. And we'll see what both teams are cooking right now, as I see a double L3 badge on one of the teams. Uh-oh.
No, they're probably not going to play it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, no. I take that back.
Oh boy, I am eating well tonight. L3D being one of my other favorite weapons. I love the L3 in combination with the burst bomb, and we are going to be seeing both archetypes actually being relatively similar, being mostly short range focused with one midline versus two midlines. Going to be interesting to see how this plays up as Booyah X ends up going with the early lead.
Yeah, they get the early lead. I was going to note that Booyah X +1, by the way, on the orange color side. KTM is on the teal. That is the colors that we have. There's going to be two members down right away. Make that a delayed 3 as we kick off Great Whites round 1. The push starts off early. 27 points remain is the score. They are dishing up the pencil as we speak, along with a few others. But that's all it's going to be. Hammer, by the way, dished out on top of it too, but it is going to get shut down. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade on both sides. Two members down on Booyah X +1. KTM also losing 2 of their own. This will be the lead change here shortly, just because of the members on the tower. They will abandon this push. I think they just want to jump off there until they get all the members jumped in. But that hammer neutralized as well. The checkpoint is going to be cleared after all, and that'll be the first checkpoint cleared, if anything, here, to get us going.
One thing that I've actually just noticed as I've been taking in the team comps is that we have a remarkably similar special comp going out. Rather, we have Booyah X1 running the double triple strike from the T-Tech and the Slosher versus KTM's choice to go with the Zuka shot and the 52 for a whale. So it's two strikes versus none, which is something I would find unusual. This style of team comp usually does run a triple strike weapon of some variety. We're going to see if it works out right now as the one with KTM is now pushing over to the next checkpoint.
This is kind of just where the snowball just gets out of control, especially with where the tower was from earlier there. They were trying to force the lockout onto Booyah X +1, but you saw the points just quickly drop there as the trip strikes, defensive trip strikes, if you will, were dished out just to force the tower to reset here, trying to buy Booyah X +1 a little bit more space, but the rest of KTM is able to rebound just very nicely. It is going to be the wipeout. This could be the game here shortly, as KTM is going to be the one that's going to force up the lockout position where the tower is placed. It's going to be the second checkpoint cleared as well. Zuka trying to see if they can find any picks right away, and it is going to be 13 points still ticking down. Hammer being dished out, trying to see if they can find other picks along the way, and they were able to stamp out too, but it's just a lone wiper being dished out. Is the wiper going to play heroics there, or are they going to go down for their efforts? They will, and that jump is just like, okay, no, I'm just going to retreat, or we're just going to try to feed into it, just trying to make something happen. 3 points remain for KTM. Stellar push, nevertheless.
Very good push. Ends up converting into a wipeout, which is actually really good for Booyah X1. Honestly, the fact that it ended up going that far after, it's really hard for after the second checkpoint to hold. Being able to do that, keeping you in this game, really good. But now it is functionally a KO or lose situation for Booyah X1.
That exactly the point there is almost a KO situation, if you will. There's another wipeout is in play. That is going to be once again KTM taking full advantage of this one. They will again 3 points remaining. Already a stellar score. They could just be looking to still play as aggressive as they can. It is just going to be the Slosher and everybody else is just going down. They're just winning almost all the fights. I believe that Stam might be looking for the Slosher. No, not quite yet. Big and the rest of the group still trying to retreat from here for just a few more moments. Wait for the clue to be dished out, if anything. And it looks like this aggressive push could still be going there. Zuka able to get 2 more, and I think that was 3 from the Zuka shot by itself, and it's the wipeout. This should be the KO here shortly, as the rest of Booyah X +1 trying to rebound in. That is a crucial pick on the Slash. Just no dice at all. Just a lot of members up for KTM. This first map goes to KTM to kick us off.
There was a split second there where I saw that Splat Bomb get a double kill, where I thought that they were going to hold again, and it turned out no, actually, it just didn't end up happening. Trying to really piece together what ended up being the difference maker here. Honestly, I kind of feel as if the Zuka plus Whale ended up paying way more dividends than just having the double strike. Strike is seen as a really strong special right now, but it is still. I don't think you double up on it. I think you probably wanted to run the Zuka shot instead if you were going to run that team comp, just to have like another thing that can just displace the pencil, displace anything that was still like trying to use the defensive cover, because it can really be hard to break into that second checkpoint, or even the first one in this case. And honestly, I kind of feel as if the L3, as cool as it was more trouble than it was worth.
You know what? I appreciate just trying to make the L3 work as well. I actually saw a few H3s in a very distant past, but it was used successfully there. But the L3 just didn't get much that, from what I could gather, from its weapon usage. So in this case, just didn't work out at the end. KTM takes home game 1. Of course, match point. Moving on to the second round in Great White Bracket as we come up here for KTM. Happens in Museum, Clan Blitz. Again, a lot of well-practiced teams will be prepared for this map mode in any given day. I'd imagine Booyah X +1 is like, all right, well, that first map didn't quite work out. We may have to change things up.
Might have to change things up. If I were them, I would probably just find a way to switch out the triple strike for something else. We'll see what they end up doing as we're loading into the game right now.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. I'm going to be curious here is if they're going to just reduce from 2 trip strikes to the other. Okay. We're seeing all the silly weapons out of the gate here. Break us down for par. What do you see so far?
We've got Sorella Tent on the side of Booyah X1, and KTM has decided to bring in the Zinc Mini, which is Bubble Mist, if it's been a while since you've last seen one, and it's already paying dividends as it would look, as 2 down go on the side of Booyah X1, putting this early game very much in the favor of KTM.
And I'll be honest, I feel like it's very rare to see a Zinc make a grand appearance. You know that it's just already getting instant value right out of the gate there. And there's the pick onto Busy. Okay, we see a cook in there. No, that is incredible. That's a second pick. Could this be a third? This Zinc Mini is just dishing out splat after splat right away here, Par.
you don't see the mini very often, but when you see someone who actually has put in the time with the weapon, you understand just how ridiculous this main weapon still is. Really, really good at fighting. The fact that it's able to control space for both itself and its opponents really, really well with the combination of bubble and mist is just really, really coming in dividends right now. They have a bubble to help continue the push right now as soon as some aggression starts coming up right now. Once again, how do you push into this? You just have a whole bunch of safe jumps, a whole bunch of pressure coming in. Almost ends up going into a very almost insurmountable lead, but I think that as long as they are able to clean this up, Booyah should be able to push back into mid.
And I get the idea, just trying to keep everybody alive there for the bubble, just trying to get the other power clam in there shortly, but I just spawned the power clam maybe a little too late to take full advantage of it. It was, I think, just a second or two off, but it didn't really phase KTM too much. Like, all right, well, that didn't quite work. We'll just reset here real quick. But the rest of Booyah X +1 kind of in a bad position where they're just having to be stuck playing defense for quite a bit here. Going to help their cause. They do pick up the free clam, or the pity clam, if you will, back at base, and it looks like Busy not able to get the pick there as well. That will be the 1-for-1 trade. This is a lot of fighting that's actually happening across the board, and KTM is still punishing them in Booyah X +1 spot. They are 2 down right now here, Par.
Extremely messy fight, but it's also ultimately going into KTM's favor, getting a whole bunch of crucial picks, including onto the pencil to deny the cooler, and now they're going to be able to open up the clam basket if they manage to get in a position, but unfortunately for Booyah, they're able to zone them out in such a way that actually this push might not end up happening unless there's a little bit of a sneak, but even then, they're going 2 down for this.
They're going to be going 2 down, just trying to salvage whatever power clam was about to disappear there into that void, and they won't be able to push themselves up any further. At the very least, you extend your lead down to 31 points main or 69 if you do the math, and it will be Cars and Kicks still trying to go through. And this is, if you're Booyah X +1, you're just stuck. You've been in the position where you are trying to get a push started, but you're stuck having to defend your plat for as long as you can, because KTM is weighing out so many of these fights here, Par, and it's almost just relentless of what KTM's doing currently.
It's relentless because of the fact that they're running this hyper offense kind of style. The longest range thing that they have right now is the thing that, plays the furthest back is going to be the 52 gal. The Wiper and the Mini are trying to create openings. They're always trying to fight. They're always trying to make sure that Booyah X1 does not have any room to breathe.
And right now just not able to build any space or any room to make this one count. There's that stamp once more. Cars and Kicks able to get 1. They are able to take 3. This could be another delayed KO here. Yes, it will be, which will build the space that Kyora needs to be able to throw that power climb in. This will be the cash in. At least it gets them out of the penalty points, and that's so much control on their base and their plat. It's literally all the entire thing being taken down with them. This is gonna be enough plans with the KO. They just gotta dish them out, just trying to move side by side, trying to dodge all the shots. One more small clam for that victory. Looks gonna be the one to dish that one through, and it will be in time. 100-0 victory for KTM BZH, and they will move on to the next round. Great Whites with a 2-0 finish.
Honestly, extremely dominant. That was one of those sets that makes Mini Splatling look broken. Honestly, it is such an oppressive weapon if it's allowed to do what it wants. Really, just kind of consistently punishing just poor positioning and poor management of its spacing tools. It's really hard to pin down with how much run speed it's allowed to run too. So with all of that, it's just just really hard to pin that down in combination with the Wiper as well, which is also moving a mile a minute and also able to kill you out of nowhere if you don't respect the quick combo it can put out.
I want to get quick last thoughts here before we have to quickly sign up for our block. Par, Zink Mini just dished out so much there in that game too. There to just look so broken the way KTM weaponized it. And that game 1, game 2 was just KTM just could continue to punish the rest of Booyah X +1 the entire time. So, any other last thoughts there, Par?
No, honestly, I don't. Honestly, just clean execution from KTM. The tower control ended up being stalled out a little bit, but honestly, KTM looked extremely dominant throughout that.
Love to hear. So yeah, final score here, final result, I suppose, for for this set. KTM BZH 2-0. They move on to that second round there. Which, by the way, we will have a small programming update, which we'll touch base on right afterwards. But for now, Par, that's gonna be it for both of us. But before we head off the plugs, we got something to read out to you guys, and that will be that we have a LAN coming up here next month It is Riptide 2024, everybody. It's literally coming up here soon. It is coming up in September 6th and 8th in Sandusky, Ohio. Well, I believe it is on pace, but I believe it is actually the largest western land in the West, or the largest Western land at this stage. Please do not miss out on this amazing event here. We got a water park resort, of course, overnight venue, and of course, happening in the Midwest. There's also the other games too, like Melee Ultimate, Rivals of Aether, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as well. If you want to sign up for Riptide 2024, sign up at start.gg/Riptide. And go ahead and sign up for the competition and play. Please add more to the Splatoon circles if you will. But for that plug, real quickly, Par, that's gonna be it for both of us. Again, welcome to SOS Par. I hope you enjoyed that block. Where can the people find you?
So for the most part, you can find me actually. I'm not really too much presence on social media. I'm on Twitter at Par2full2. It's going to be on screen. You'll be able to see that. But more actively, you will actually find me on Twitch, on twitch.tv/Par2 with 2 O's. So that's PARTWOO. The 1 O is being held. But what you're going to see there is actually not frequently Splatoon. As a matter of fact, I consider myself a retired Splatoon player at this point. Never really made it farther than the low level. But you'll see me playing instead Crash Team Racing, as I've become a speedrunner for that game, and I've gotten pretty good at it in the time that I've placed. Right now, I'm trying to grind for a top 5 placement in the skipless category on emulator. So if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to come over and check me out. But Keon, what about you?
You guys can find me in the usual channels. Of course, I am taking a break from Twitch streaming just because my schedule just did not line up at all this month. So it is what it is. But you guys can also find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. Twitter for the nonsense, Blue Sky for the other exclusive nonsense. They're both just nonsense, if you will. I will be going to Riptide. So if you are going to Riptide, I hope to see you there next month. And I am very friendly, so please say hi if you can. And I will not bite. I promise you on that. Kill2570 is my handle for all 3 there, Twitch, Twitter, and Blue Sky. So smash the follow button if you want to catch up with anything regarding that. But that's going to be it for me and Par. You got new commentators heading your way to cover Great White Brackets the rest of the way home. Don't go anywhere. You are watching Swimmer Sync 158 here on IPL. We will see you guys then.
Bye-bye.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Swim or Sink. It is I, Mad Gamer II. I am joined by the lovely Miss Pixie 6.
Hello, iMad. Are you excited for Swimmer Sink 158?
Oh heck yeah, I am so excited for this and our next matchup because we are in the quarterfinals, round 3 of Great White. Nawal versus BFSC plus Whack.
Yes. And this was an exciting matchup that we're watching because it was BFSC plus Whack just beat Smoothie for this spot in round 3.
Yeah, and I think like even Sendu was projecting Smoothie to be the victor. I know they went toe to toe with what was it, Starburst back in the day at one of the, I think it was LTC, but they've been doing a revival. They are coming back from their hiatus and regrouping. But this night they will be knocked out of SOS for the night, so we'll have a Nawal versus BFSC.
Yeah, that does not roll off the tongue very well.
No, it does not. I'm just gonna call him plus Whack.
Plus Whack. I don't know if that's the shorthand we want to use.
Hey, they can take it up with HR.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, now I'm just looking at our lovely Sendo.ink bracket to see what the maps might be. Right now it's locked for me, so I cannot see. I just see clams, then rainmaker, then zones.
Clams and rainmaker zones. We have umami clams to start us off.
Ooh.
This one's a fun. I just umami in general. I enjoy this, but I think clamblets. It gets interesting because I know with like zones and maybe rainmaker. When trying to lock out the enemy is like how far up can you push to lock them out, but it's like with Calambits you gotta push up just to get to the objective, so the defense, like even if they're able to lock things down, it'd be hard to like, it just mid is that key element to hold.
Definitely. I see a lot of crack and cheese working on this map just because it is a little difficult to get to the enemy basket. There's really only the one hallway to get there, and when you need something to clear such a small pathway like that, Kraken is used a lot. I see a lot of altar stamps. Just something big to get everyone out of the way.
That's right. Like there's nothing scarier than a big invisible Kraken coming at you, or this huge stamp hammer. It is either way, like you said, they just do a good job of clearing the path. And then I know like bubbler just in general for clams, like it helps for just maintaining the hold of the basket, be able to throw in more clams other than just that initial power clam. But that is the thing that you got to watch out for, is like you can maybe slip in your initial player to get the basket open, but it's like that follow-up is going to be crucial.
Hold on, I'm seeing people in the chat. It does BFSC stand for Big Fat Sea Cows? Perhaps?
That sounds about right.
That's what the chat is saying. All we see are letters, folks.
But that sounds about right, because I think I helped coordinate one of their looting matches a while back.
Okay, so we can just call them sea cows. That will be so much better than all the letters.
I am so down for that.
Do you remember at all what div Big Fat Sea Cows were? I want to say 4?
They are in 5.
5, okay. I was close.
Yeah, so they're div 5. Nawal? They're another team that's been around a while. I recognize the name, but I can't remember what div they are. But I assume they're in like 5 or 4 or 5 as well.
They should list that on Sendo. Maybe they do. Maybe they do and I just don't see it. They should be 4. Okay. We're getting intel from the smarter folks behind the scenes.
Well, I know that the Sea Cows, like I was in charge of all of the Div 5 teams, so they were in my group.
Yeah, so you should know this, Maddie. Why don't you have every team memorized?
I'm sorry. I didn't study for the test. Oh, hello. Getting into this first match. Oh, hello. So we were talking about that big bubbler, Junior, coming out from the Sea Cows. Could be rocking the pencil and shot as well to back that up. But then we also have a brush coming out from Nawal.
Ooh. Brush and the Blaster. I'm not sure how the Blaster is going to work out here. I don't see a lot as a clams pick, mostly for like a tower pick, sometimes for zones just because you can control an area very well with a Blaster. But it'll be interesting to see how that works on clams.
I think the range blaster does really well just for this particular map, not necessarily for the mode, just because it can really play to its range around that middle area. It doesn't necessarily have to hold the top. It can just kind of put pressure on it from the bottom with its chip damage. And it seems like it is Nawal here is the team putting on the pressure right now. Still doing a good job of holding mid. Really fighting it out. The crab trying to survive, but does get taken down. And it's just a lot of blue in the map. And then it's going to be 3 down for the Sea Cows, and it's just Pencil holding down the defense.
It looks like Nawal here with a lot of clams at their disposal trying to build up. They are at the enemy ramp here, just holding the area for now, trying to build up for that power clam, trying to find a good way in. They are still getting picks though, it looks like. They're trading at least from both sides, but it looks like Big Bad Sea Cows are back in this, pushing their way to mid.
The Sea Cows doing their best to gain some ground right here. See, this is the key area that you want to be able to hold. It's just this upper area because it allows you to have the high ground. But we're seeing that Kraken coming out, trying to gain some space, just push the way in. But they're going to be met with the Zuka as they're running out of that Kraken. But right now, the range block just trying to find something, trying to find some sort of assist, and they do just that. But it brings it to a 2v2 situation, and they're looking for that player that's on this left here, trying to put pressure on.
Wow, I'm surprised that we're 2 minutes into this match and we haven't seen a power clam get into any basket yet. It looks like there's kind of a stalemate in mid here. Neither team really controlling it with paint right now. I think just the weapon choices at hand are making it difficult to hold that mid position. But as I say that, Nawal does get a power clam in. They're getting the score down to 62 here as 2 of them go down. Big Fat Sea Cows really protecting their basket here.
I think it's because of that choke point right in front of the basket. It's just like you can get a power clam in, but again, is being able to follow it up with more clams. It could be hard, and it can be hard to do it and stay alive as well, just because of how narrow it is. It looks kind of a, I don't know, a bloodbath. But right now, Sea Cows going to be trying to make a return play of their own, but the brush has just got them distracted, like just coming in from this left side. Even if they don't pick them off, all their attention's on there, and it just dissolved that play right there. 2 members going down, and they're gonna have to regroup on their side of the map.
Yeah, I saw Mini there trying to survive against that brush player, just backing up slowly to still live, to still keep that power clam. And they do. They are backed up quite far now. They are on their dome as Nawal here is taking mid. But, oh, we see the Ultra Stamp here from Whack getting 2 players down, getting 3 players down. They have the power clam. Let's see if they could get in here. If they could score that clam, and they do. There is another power clam on the side of Big Bad Sea Cows, but I don't think they can get it in quite yet.
We saw that Junior just sharking a little under the ledge there, trying to find an opportunity to push in and pop that bubbler, but they got taken down before they could do that. So Sea Cows, they got the power clam in, but they didn't really have any follow-up, so they're going to be forced to regroup right here. And the brush coming up underneath from the ledge, and they're going to be bringing them down to 2. The last member is trying to stay alive, just find some space, but they are going to be taken down as well. Really gaining a lot of map control for Nawal here.
Yeah, Ray Z here getting a lot of paint on the ground, being pretty aggressive here. They are trying to push their way forward, even with this Kraken right in front of them. They're just trying to find a way for their team to get in, to get that power clam in, but it looks like the rest of their team is pretty far back right now. Oh, but as I say that, it looks like, oh, they almost scored it in the basket, but they get taken down by Big Bad Sea Cows.
They drop the clam. The last member is able to slip in and pop it open. We are down to 40 seconds, and they're basically just going to be stalling for time here. They are going to be giving Sea Cows another power clam to work with, and they are going to be trying to recover a lot of space right here. But with it getting down to 30 seconds and Narwhal coming back from spawn already, they have the advantage because they're able to just stall for time and able to just kind of play for defense, but they are losing 2-3 members down and maybe not so much of a defense anymore, and that's going to be the fourth for a delayed wipe, and the bubble are getting popped right when they need it. Going to be tossing the clams, taking the lead, 10 seconds remaining. Oh, they just got to stay alive. They got to keep Nawal from coming back and grabbing another power clam. If they could just slip another clam in, they could just end it before overtime kicks in, but it is going to be closing it, and overtime is going to be giving Nawal one last chance.
And Nawal here in mid with the power clam, trying to push their way forward, trying to go very slowly, surviving against that Trizuka shot there. We see, a player on the left getting taken down. One more here, trying to get that power clam in. Oh, but they get taken down before they get close enough to score it.
That was such a close play right there. Like, although they had all the power clams they needed to take the lead back, just too many of them went down to be able to throw them in time. And even with overtime closing as it was, I don't think they would be able to have enough time to get that lead back. So first match is going to be going to Sea Cows.
That was a good last try for Nawal there, though. They seemed to group up. They did try and get that last push. They had the clams. They were ready for it, but I think Big Bad Sea Cows were just too good at the end there. They were able to get those picks. They were able to stop that push before it even started.
Yeah, it seemed like Nawal had the advantage for the majority of that first half of the match. Like, they had the nice lead on their first push right there, but it slowly over time, just Sea Cows, they just waited for the opportunity. They didn't really rush in too quickly. They got their splats that they needed first, and then once they were able to get the players of Nawal down, they were able to just slip in, and then once the butler popped, that's what really solidified their hold of the basket and able to get that lead.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a really good bubble just because it allowed them that extra time to get the score down, to get the lead there. They just needed a little extra help, you know? They just needed to survive a little longer to get the rest of the clams in, and they did.
For sure. Now, this next one, we're going to be going to a Rainmaker Humpback. This one's interesting because, like, Clam Blitz on Umami, you know, we were talking about kind of that chokehold that just makes it really difficult to get in, and we saw just how long it took for even one power clam to get in. Rainmaker is a lot more wide open. You still have the kind of the choke point on the main route on the right, but you do have a little bit more flexibility because you move from the left side or the right depending on where the defense is set up from the other team.
Always love seeing a left side push on Humpback Pump Track because you never expect it, and it almost never works. But when it does work, then you feel like a king. You feel like the best and most smartest Splatoon player in all of existence when that works.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it really goes down to like that kind of the juke the mind plays. Like if you're able to like bring them over to that right side, get a couple down, and then swap it over, just like. You have to be quick with it. You really do have to be quick with it before they can catch on and try to stop you.
Yeah, I would say that this map favors a lot of flanking, a lot of sharking, a lot of getting behind the enemy and getting those picks before they can expect them.
Now we saw the brush in that last match, which really does play itself well for clams, but it may not play so much for Rainmaker, but it does provide those flank opportunities. But we are going to be seeing a little bit of a reset. We have a player down here already.
Imagine they played it anyway.
Oh my goodness, the confidence in that. But no, we're going to be doing a reset right there. And I did see a brush in play that time. I'm trying to remember which team ran it in that last match. I think it was no. I think it was Nawal. I'm pretty sure it was Nawal.
I unfortunately have a terrible memory for weapons.
I do know that they ran it alongside the Range Blaster, and we are seeing that Range Blaster return, but they're going to be supplementing it with a machine, the sloshing machine. But I didn't get a chance to see which one it was, the new or the vanilla. I do know that I like playing the vanilla machine simply because it has that fizzy bomb, especially for Humpback. If you get the fizzy bomb on defense, it can help just kind of put on that pressure and just keep the enemy at bay while you build up your special.
Does the Booyah help too, to kind of clear that one hallway?
Yeah, and not only does it like help with the kind of defense, but also helps for just creating space, kind of like the Kraken did in that last match, just creating space to be able to push whoever has that Rainmaker.
That makes a lot of sense. That's a good special to have on this map in particular.
And just the fact that Humpback is so hilly and bumpy, just the nature of the Booyah Bump can cover a lot more of that dynamic space than some of the other specials.
Did you say that you saw a brush earlier? I don't see a brush anymore.
Well, I was saying I was looking out for that brush because they ran it in the Clams match, but it seems they replaced it with that that vanilla machine.
Gotcha.
they are still going to be running kind of a similar comp from before, still rocking the splash and the range blaster, but they are going to be having quite a bit of AoE, a lot of that chip damage with the machine and the range blaster combo, which honestly is another strong move to have for Humpback, just because you have a lot of ledges as well and a lot of little just nooks and crannies you can get around.
We're seeing Big Fat Sea Cows here taking a lot of space on this right side, getting this first checkpoint. They did manage to get a lot of specials pretty early. I saw a Trizuka come out, giving them a lot of space. We're seeing the Inkjet here now trying to hold this area here on the right, but there's specials coming out, a Kraken, a Booyah Bomb, and a Crab from Nawal, trying to get them out of that corner to go down on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows as Nawal is able to pop the Rainmaker for themselves.
Mini with the clutch dropple, able to get out of the vortex of the Booyah Bomb, survive long enough to back up and give some space for their team, but it is going to be Sea Cows with the first lead and checkpoint take with a nice special play like you mentioned, and also some just nice 1v1 plays, but Nawal is taking space rapidly and potentially able to get this checkpoint. Ooh, but the Zuka's going to be trying to find them. They are right on the edge of disaster, but they're going to be able to pop that checkpoint and still maintain at least several of their players.
I'm really surprised that Nawal was able to hold that Rainmaker up against that Trizuka shot there. That when you have the Rainmaker, you're very visible, so hiding from that is nearly impossible, but they were able to play around that pedestal and survive long enough to get it in. Looks like they were able to take the lead here, pushing it to 31 as Big Fat Sea Cows is now trying to take control of this corner, but it looks like Nawal is still being pretty aggressive with their specials.
Yeah, it's aggressive indeed. The Kraken getting two. They are 3 members down, just a Tri-Slosher remaining. If they're able to get the pop here with where that range blaster is, taking out the Tri-Slosher, they could potentially push it down to 9. Oh, they were looking for that KO, but not quite able to grab it. But with 2 members down, a Crab on their space, they might be able to keep it going, but no, they're going to be choosing to grab it and just get it off that ledge, get it as far from the pedestal as possible.
Wow, that was a really good push for Nawal there. Even using that Crab to try and keep that space, but Big Fat Sea Cows was able to drop the Rainmaker here. They're trying to pop it now, trying to get it back in their control as they paint up mid, but 2 of them are down. Nawal able to retake control of mid, able to get that paint down. They're really trying to get whack in this corner here. They see them, they can't catch them though. Oh, they're really trying. This Ultra Stamp comes out, but it does get taken out pretty quickly. We see Mini here on the Inkjet able to hold their space here on the left side.
I was going to say, Sea Cows were struggling here. We saw the wiper going out. There was so much yellow paint on the ground. Nawal had so much map control, which it was hard for Sea Cows to kind of break back in. But then the Inkjet play and now the Rainmaker play, just taking down several members of Nawal. 3 members are going to be going down, and that's going to be a lot of space for them to work with the Booyah Bomb. And that was exactly what I was talking about, just able to just clear so much space and deny them that kind of path that they wanted to take.
That was a good pinch there with that Booyah Bomb, able to take down Big Fat Sea Cows with the Rainmaker there. Now Nawal has it. They are trying to push towards mid, but it's still pretty purple there. I'm not sure if that was a safe push to Big.
I think, again, they're just looking to get it out of their plat right there. But like you said, it was pretty purple, but right now they're going to be 3 members of Sea Cows down, and the paint swap went so quickly into Nawal's favor. The yellow just came out, and they're going to be holding this hump, letting it. No, they are going to pick up the Rainmaker, and they have that Booyah Bomb ready to go.
Wow, the Booyah, the Crab right there, defending their teammate as they have the Rainmaker. Ooh, and they live against the Zuka shots and that Ultra Stamp. Oh, but they get taken down at that last Zuka shot. We see Ray Z here trying to pop the Rainmaker, but it looks like Big Fat Sea Cows is being pretty aggressive here, not letting them get any closer to it. Oh, but there is a pick there. We see Mini on the Inkjet here trying to repaint mid, trying to stop Nawal from going any farther forward. Ooh, but it looks like that Rainmaker is going to be reset here.
The shot right here, Ray's just really lurking and getting another nice splat right there, looking to pop that Crab, just trying to gain some space, but unfortunately they are going to be overwhelmed by the fire 15 seconds remaining. Nawal has such an impressive lead and control of both the Rainmaker and most of the map. Tri-Saucer's going to be looking to try to take the Maker down. They do, but they're going to be losing half their team in the process. Inkjet is popped, looking for that other splash, taking them down. We are going to be going into overtime. They have a chance if they can pop it, if they can pick up the Maker, but no, the edit's going to just be keeping it. They're going to pick it up just in the nick of time. They have time, but 3 members down, and they're going to just be hunted till the Rainmaker carrier is taken down.
Oh, that was so unfortunate that their 3 other teammates got taken down as they grabbed the Rainmaker there. It was just not a good situation for Big Fat Sea Cows at the end there. Nawal able to take this match.
It's interesting because, you know, with Rainmaker, one of the things that makes Rainmaker mode so volatile is that most pushes aren't necessarily safe. Like the rule of thumb for Rainmaker, the only safe push is one where you're within reach of the final checkpoint, the KO pedestal, which is usually within like 15 points or less. Nawal did an impressive job of getting it that far, and just Sea Cows weren't able to replicate that. And I think that one push they had could have spelled disaster for Nawal, but just the Booyah Bomb came in clutch right when they needed it.
I was really impressed with the use of Nawal's specials there. They weren't exactly popped all at the same time, but they were staggered in a way that helped them move forward, that helped them hold their space, so their teammate could use that Rainmaker and get all those points. And I just think that kind of coordination, that's practiced. That's taken a long time for them to master, and I'm really impressed by how they pulled that out.
I feel like one of the things that stuck out to me was like when they had that Booyah Bomb mid-game, and then they held it until the crab got set up, and then they threw it just kind of clear space for the crab, and then the crab able to just kind of maintain that space for a good like 7 or 8 seconds, and then just let them set up again on that right corner.
It was a good play, and it worked out for them. I'm happy for them.
Now we are tied 1-1 in this quarterfinal set. The last match going to be on zones, Barnacle and Dime. Ooh, and this is going to be an interesting one. Going to zones for our match point. And Barnacle is interesting because it's very similar to Umami in that it has a lot of open space in the middle, but once you start going to lock out the enemy team, that's when you start getting into that choke point.
Definitely. Because of how this map is set up, those higher points near the spawn, it's hard to get a lot of paint up there. And to be able to lock out the enemy, you really just got to be able to lob bombs or have ranged weapons, keep the enemy out. Sometimes you can get a person up there, but I feel like that's much rarer.
Yeah, it tends to be pretty risky, especially if they're just coming back from spawn. They can punish it pretty quickly. But like you said, they are able to just kind of hold space from the bottom, throw bombs, get some chip damage in. But that does allow the defending team to get some specials going. We are still going to be seeing Nawal sticking with that double AoE comp, Range Blaster and Machine. But we're going to be seeing the Junior make a return for Sea Cow here, looking to get some extra paint and just be able to pop that bubbler to hold the zone for more ticks.
Hey, I missed that bubble. I missed that Junior. You don't see a lot of good Junior play. And especially when you have the sodas already, sometimes you don't really want 2 utility specials. But hey, Big Fat Sea Cows made it work in the first match we saw. So if they can make it work here, they can secure this match for themselves.
Absolutely, and it's just going to come down to utilizing their wiper player and their shot to be able to just kind of be the spearhead, be able to break in and make plays happen. Because once they do, then they have the pencil and the Junior just kind of be able to place that support, play the range and the paint support. But we are going to be seeing both of those aggressive weapons going down. Zone going to be flipping back to Nawal's favor, but a nice bomb from the Junior able to just even the odds right there.
Yeah, we see the lead right now for Big Fat Sea Cows. They do manage to paint the zone here, but we see 3 members of Nawal here up on their plat. They are being pretty aggressive. They are trying to get these picks and paint up, but the control is still with Big Fat Sea Cows. They're able to maintain that paint. Let's see if this Kraken could do any damage here, and 3 do go down for Big Fat Sea Cows.
That was a nice pincher play, pun not intended, between the Kraken and that player from the Machine. And then you have the Crab just on top of that, clean space up. That zone flipped really quickly into Nawal's favor. Lead is going to be going as well in their favor, and they're going to be pushing them, just trying to get that lockout position that they want.
Yeah, Big Fat Sea Cows kind of push into this corner, but it looks like they're slowly but surely making their way forward. As I say that, though, one does get taken down. They are still all back there, though. They are still alive for the time being, trying to paint up, trying to get forward, trying to get the pick so they can finally get out of spawn, but they're finding it hard to get out here.
Ooh, and there's another player going down to the bomb. Just Nawal really locking it down right now, getting out all the paint that they need, daggering Sea Cows quite effectively, and with the crab on top of that, there's going to be a lot of time able to hold out. And the Booyah Bomb taking 2 members in right at the last second, just absolutely obliterating their chance of taking that zone back.
Wow, we saw that really effective use of specials once again on the side of Nawal, just the crab and the Booyah, and just the way they're able to use them together is just so good. I'm so impressed by that.
Yeah, I feel like Sea Cows, like they had that nice take back in the first match, that Clans match, able to just flip the script on there. But then once Nawal kind of set in, was able to like regroup after that, it just Sea Cows weren't able to kind of bring that same energy.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Oh, but it was a good match. It was good for both teams. They fought really hard for that one.
Absolutely. And Nawal going 2-1 against the Big Fat Sea Cows plus Whack. We'll be moving on to the semifinals of your SOS tonight. In the meantime, though, we are going to be going to a short break, so stay tuned.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Are we?
It says it's ready.
They're ready? Oh, never mind. We're going to jump right into it. Let's
Just
go.
kidding. Trying to look up now on Ascendo.ink at the brackets here for semis what we're going to be watching. Not entirely sure yet. Was told it's ready. There we go. Love that for us. We love SOS Staff versus Destiny.
Aww. We love
cute.
SOS Staff too.
We do.
And yes, the voices in our heads were telling us the next match are ready, so we're just going to be going straight into it. Looks like there's, yeah, so we have SOS Staff versus Destiny. I'm summoning all the collective Splatoon knowledge I have, and I am coming up with nothing right now.
Well, it looks like their first match is going to be Tower Control on Hagglefish Market.
There we go.
Very good Tower Control map, I think, just because of how I suppose the different checkpoints are kind of hard to hold in a way that it gives an advantage to the enemy team that they're kind of above those areas. They can just shoot down at you to control those checkpoints. But if you're really good, if you're really getting the momentum going as the pushing team, it's just really fun to see on this map how that works out, because it's not at their advantage. It's really hard to push so confidently.
And I feel like Tower or Hagglefish Market is like the new Ink Blot, just because of how that tower path is. Like, you have the one key area you gotta hold, that kind of the tent elbow on the top right. Like, it covers 2 of those checkpoints, and like you said, it's just such a good defensive position. Like, it can have that high ground over the tower rider and be able to just cover both those checkpoints quite well. You have to be able to take it out as the offensive team, and that just goes to like those kind of ledge camping weapons, you know, buckets, blasters, things like that. Anything that can kind of like get that chip damage over. But once you get that tower to the second checkpoint, if you're able to get somebody locked up there, then you just have a lot of space to work with.
Yeah, that's true. If you're able to push up to the enemy plat to kind of, I suppose, what is it? Just lock them out in that way, to be aggressive, to throw things at the enemy to stop them from getting at you. Then that's a good play. But I feel like on this map in particular, that's hard to get there. Kind of like the last one on Barnacle and Dime, where the enemy is just up higher than you. So it's hard to make those positions. But I don't know. Some people do it. Some people can get there.
Now, it's interesting because Hagglefish Market, you got this kind of like 50-50. You have the traditional meta pick of the pencil for your cooler, or I've seen a lot of people running the edit specifically for Tower Control Hagglefish, just because it's not quite as wide open as some of the other maps are, so you have some more cover to work with that edit. But then you also have the option for the backlineless comp of like the end zap, but for tower control, I don't see that quite as often.
The aggressive comp? I feel like I see that on Hagglefish Market in general more so, just so you can get a lot of members to push forward really quickly.
I think just like with the tower control, having someone on hand to ride the tower, but we are going to be running the pencil for both sides, and in fact, we're going to be seeing
These names.
Oh my goodness, there's Zenith. We know Zenith.
Yeah. She's cool people.
She's cool people. But we are going to be seeing both the blasters and the buckets coming out from We Love SOS Staff here, going for that extra chip damage. But it is going to be Destiny rocking the paint advantage right now, taking down the pencil and the blaster, and looking for another one, taking down the blaster again. Or was it the shot? I almost thought losing track here, but with the bucket going to be going in and dying, and that jump is not the safest jump in the world.
Goodness. Yes, we see Destiny here getting a lot of paint on the ground, getting the tower pushed a little bit forward to 94, now to 90, maybe even getting that first checkpoint. But it looks like Zenith here with the Trizukas coming out, being pretty aggressive, able to hold that area for their team. I don't see the rest of the teammates, though, pushing up quite as far. Maybe they're just trying to keep the space here.
It was interesting because Destiny had a really good player advantage right there. They had a lot of space. They had a lot of map to work with, but they were only able to push it to 85 even with all those players down. And now SOS Staff going to be moving and going for that first checkpoint. The strikes are going to be coming out and taking down 3 members of We Love SOS Staff, so Destiny has another chance at the glory here, but it was just interesting that they weren't quite able to capitalize off it, and now they're already losing their 52.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They were aggressive pretty early, getting a lot of space, but not really getting a lot of points on the board. But maybe now, maybe they'll be able to push the tower. But as I say that, the tower rider does get taken down by the enemy pencil. Looks like SOS Staff here able to be aggressive, getting all the members of Destiny off of that tower. These strikes do come out. The whale does come out as a member of Destiny is pushing you back into this corner. They're able to get this tower past checkpoint 1. We see the squeezer there on the right trying to push up, trying to hold space. They do get taken down. We see Destiny pushing back a little bit, falling back a little bit, but they do have their specials on. They do have the strikes going out, trying to retake this tower.
I really like Destiny's kind of game plan here. Like with the 52 squeezer combo, they have that double splash wall, able to just kind of push up, be aggressive on their own, be a little bit more autonomous. And then they have the splash and the pencil just back them up with the bomb and paint support. And then the strikes on top of that, able to just kind of clean things up when they want to push in. But right now, SOS Staff able to stop them from getting too far past that second checkpoint, so they do have an opportunity to bring it back here. They just got to be able to do what Destiny was doing, just kind of match that aggression and then take some of that space back.
And we see Zenith here with the Trizuka shots. 3 members are down on the side of Destiny. This is a good opportunity for SOS Staff to push up. We see Mikey here with this Kraken taking space, trying to just hold for this Tower Rider U here. Ooh, but it looks like all of Destiny is aiming right at that tower right now. They're not able to hold it very well. But 2 members of Destiny are down now, and another one goes down. U holding the tower here. There are strikes, though. It's hard to hold against that. They are trying to get back on the tower, trying to keep that lead going. They get it down to 29 before they get taken out.
And not only they get it down to 29, they take it out the checkpoint, take 3 members of Destiny down, and Cam doing a good job of staying alive. That last player of Destiny is forced to drop, and they're going to be taken down by Cam, the bucket player, and they are going to be looking to extend this lead even further, but they are at a bit of a disadvantage here. They are being outnumbered and forced to just kind of lay low, looking for their opportunity, but they are going to be taken down.
Ooh, Cam stayed alive pretty long over on the enemy side there, but they did eventually get found out. We see Freak Bob here on the tower, riding it, trying to paint up for their teammates, trying to keep them alive, but it looks like one of them gets taken down. They fall back a little bit as SOS Staff here pushes up, uses their bombs, gets aggressive, tries to get this pick on the tower here.
While Cam wasn't able to find another splat during that little excursion in Destiny's base, they were able to stall for time so that now that Destiny is looking to push past the second checkpoint here. They're just finding a hard time because all of SOS Staff is up and playing the defense game here. 2 members are going down. They are very staggered at the moment. They are losing a lot of paint to We Love SOS Staff. And with 20 seconds remaining and several other specials online, that's not the position you want to be in when you don't have that lead.
Yeah, Destiny really trying here. They do have a lot of paint on the ground. They are trying to push up here. Not too aggressive, though. Just aggressive enough to continue holding this tower. We see the walls go out. We see them trying to maintain this space here. But knowing how aggressive SOS Staff has been, it might be hard. And especially with that Kraken, ooh, they are not able to hold that tower into overtime.
I was gonna say there was 2 GG specials on SOS Staff that Destiny needed to watch out for. They took down the bucket, which had those ink strikes, but when that Kraken got popped, there just wasn't anything they can do to really stop it until they were able to get on that tower.
Yeah, once that Kraken comes out, there's really nothing you can do about it. You can try and aim at it, try and push it back, but oh, it's difficult.
Yeah, we saw the strikes coming out, but unfortunately just the invincibility of the Kraken was able to protect them long enough to touch the tower. So We Love SOS Staff taking the first match of our semifinals here.
Yes, and now we're going to see these teams play Splat Zones on Ship Shape. Ooh, that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I have to say, we haven't seen zones on Ship Shape in quite a while. I think Tower Control tends to be the preferred mode for Ship Shape, which the geography of those 2 modes are so different. The Splat Zones, you really have that that unique structure in the middle, just that so much of that high ground overarching the zone, very similar to Schellendorf Museum from 2, just really in contrast to kind of the flatter map of Tower. So I'm looking forward to see what they bring out for this match.
Pulling out your Splatoon 2 knowledge, eh? Impressing the veterans of Splatoon.
I gotta sound smart somehow.
As a zones map, I feel it's so difficult when the zone itself is a pit, and you got to be really brave to be aggressive and go in and paint that, and especially for Ship Shape, there's a lot of opportunities for flanking and sharking. There's a lot of fun ways to get around the map with the grates on the left side, but then also to just shark on the right side and you know, use your weapons to get up over ledges. Just there's a lot of opportunity for fun here on Ship Shape, and I feel Splat Zones kind of wastes that fun by having everyone focused at just the pit in the middle.
What's interesting though is, like, even though the zone itself is like in the lowest point of the map, a lot of the defensive structure is the highest point of the map. Very similar to Flounder Heights. So like when the defense of the zone is set up, it's like you really have to go uphill just to get back in. You really need to rely on those kind of specials to break in and get that space back. But we're going to be seeing not much of a change, but Zenith swapping from the shot to the brush of all things. It's going to be an interesting matchup here, because I think kind of those sneaky fun plays you were talking about is the brush is going to be able to take advantage of that.
And they seem to get the first pick here. Zenith taking out Freak Bob and Ace, getting this zone painted for SOS Staff. We see the rest of their team pushing forward, throwing bombs out, trying to paint. Mikey here on the blaster trying to get this pick. They're trying to go up against this wall from the 52, not able to do much about it. We see Ace trying to push up here with their team's strikes, but the enemy strikes right back as they're able to hold the zone.
Indeed, excellent first play by We Love SOS Staff, and they were able to get down to 50, and they're still fighting that zone. It is going to slowly get back into Destiny's control here, and it is going to be ideal with the Squeezer holding on the top, but 52 is going to be going down. Strikes are going to be coming out from We Love SOS Staff, looking to recap that zone before the lead can be taken back.
Ooh, Ace in the middle gets caught out by all these specials coming out from SOS Staff. SOS Staff able to paint. Oh, but one does get taken down. Destiny trying to push up here. They throw the sodas out, trying to live, trying to be aggressive, but you in the middle there really stopping anyone from getting closer to the zone.
That's right, just doing a really good job. 3 members going down with kind of a delayed wipe. They are really pushing up against We Love Destiny's base right now with the brush and the blaster just kind of lurking underneath that ledge. It is not safe for them to drop, but that's going to be 2 members going down, getting down to 30 points. They are really going to have to push in here, throwing their all, but the pencil is going to be going down, and they are going to be 2 members down as I try to take this zone back.
I just saw so many specials get popped on the Zenith there, the Trizuka and the Whale, but she lives. She was able to get out. We see Mikey here on the blaster on the left. Ooh, trying to get a pick, but it doesn't even matter as SOS Staff able to hold that zone until they get the knockout.
That's so good. That was such a good play from them right at the end there. It's like once they were able to kind of like get a foothold, recap the zone, they just were really able to push back in, and just it was a stagger for I am blanking right now. Destiny right there. We Love SOS Staff able to take 2 of the 3 matches, able to get that 2-0, and are going to be moving on to the finals. It is the finals. We are in this was semifinals.
This was semis. And it's a best of 3. So yes, next will be finals. We'll see We Love SOS Staff versus Nawal, I believe. Oh, maybe they haven't started their set. Just kidding. I don't know who's going to be in finals. It could be anyone. It could be you.
They're gonna 4v1 me in Flannerfish Rainmaker. Anyway, what's interesting though is that Destiny had like a really good opening in that first match on Tower Control Hagafish, but then like they were just slowly kind of lost their grip of the space. Just We Love SOS Staff was like able to like keep pushing and pushing and pushing until they were able to push past the second checkpoint. But last one, Zone Ship Shape, it was less of a context. It was We Love SOS Staff with the early lead, and then they're just able to hold it for the rest of the match.
I was going to say the same thing sort of happened on that zones map on Shipshape just now, because Destiny was able to take the zone for a little bit. They did get points on the board there, but once SOS Staff kind of grouped up and started pushing really aggressively forward, Destiny was just not able to keep their hold.
Exactly. Well, we unfortunately will not be able to see what would have happened under Rainmaker Scorch Gorge, but we do have one more set of Splatoon action coming in. As soon as we get the results of the other set on the other side of semifinals, we will be back with our finals match. So stay tuned and stay hydrated, and we'll be right back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Swimmer Sync 158. We are at Grand Finals, woo! With We Love SOS Staff versus KTM X BZH. A name named for some reason. I don't understand the acronyms. Stop using acronyms, please. I'm Ed. How are you feeling? What team are you rooting for?
I mean, we gotta give props to the fan service for the We Love SOS Staff. You know, it's hard not to root for them. But plus, like you said, is this a K-pop band they're fighting here? I don't know what the acronym is here. Please chat, enlighten us.
Goodness. Okay. I'm trying to figure out my video is not updating. But I can see the stream is different. So I know at least it's good for the folks at home.
Well, we are going to be starting off our best of 5 grand finals match with Clan Blitz on Museum de Alfonsino. Any tips or notes for this map mode? I do know that you are the connoisseur of the Clan Blitz. It is your mode of choice.
That's true. And Clan Blitz on Museum? Not my favorite, but it's doable. I think there's a lot of silly plays you can do when you can get up on the enemy plat without them noticing, especially if you can hide up on their spinner and get up in higher places and just hide for a little while your team builds a power clam. That can be fun.
It's interesting. Something I'm just now realizing, just like whether by choice or by accident, a lot of Clan Blitz maps, it's very hard to get to the basket. It is usually some sort of choke point or like limited route, whether it be a ramp or just anything. There is really one safe route to the basket, and it is up that ramp to the plant around the spinner. You could potentially take the block, but if they see you, you are basically sent back to spawn immediately.
Yeah, you need to be a quicker weapon to try and take that block. I think like a brush or a sploosh, something small, something quick.
And you really have to have a major distraction on that ramp for you to get in.
Definitely. Have some specials going out from the rest of your team so you can be sneaky.
Booyah bomb. There's a ticket right there.
Or Kraken. Kraken works too.
Or Kraken. The other thing, like even with the Kraken cheese kind of taken out, you still see a lot of good Kraken plays because it's good at being able to just get into those tight spaces and just open them up for your team, be able to push the enemy out of where you want to be. Booyah bombs, ink strikes, things of that nature also work well, but Crab, the Crab tank does especially well for Museum just because when you load it up on that spinner, you just have a lot of space to work with. But we do not seem to be seeing any Crabs coming out this time around, but we are seeing the return of, or that Zinc Mini thrown out here. Going to be using that bubbler once again for Clan Blitz.
Ooh, looks like for KTM, we see the Zinc Mini coming out for that bubble, probably trying to just hold space. We saw a team use a Junior earlier for a similar reason to use that bubble to take that space. Maybe it's a new meta thing. I don't know. Using multiple utility specials, just trying to stay alive to take space. We're seeing it come out now in mid here for KTM. They're able to take a lot of space, able to get 2 down off of SOS Staff. We see the Ultra Stamp come out, but they're not able to get a pick before they get taken down. Then SOS Staff uses their own Ultra Stamp. They're able to get 2 members down off of KTM, and they are now pushing to mid.
It was a bit of a flurry fight right at the beginning right there, but We Love SOS Staff taking a lot of good map control, a lot of good clams in their possession. Now they just got to be able to find a way in. All of KTM is currently alive and defending, and we do see the bubbler in or online ready to go, but the hammer going to be coming out looking to get 2. Third one going to be taken down. 3 members of We Love SOS Staff going to be taken down, and now it's going to be taking KTM on their plat and really taking space right here. 52 does go down, but they are able to get the basket open.
Ooh, Ooh, KTM was able to be pretty aggressive there, just getting their wiper up there for the rest of their team to kind of take space. 2 of KTM do get taken down, though, as SOS Staff able to push up onto the enemy ramp here. They do have a power clam at their disposal. They are on this block here, seeing the altar stamp come out from Zenith, getting 1 pick, 2 picks, as their power clam gets ever closer to the enemy basket. Are they able to throw it in quite yet? They are. They get it down to 71 here, getting clams in the basket, seeing this wiper get some more here, trying to survive against KTM.
Ooh, talk about being able to break in. Going to be winning the 1v1 versus the wiper, but unfortunately the jump comes a little too late. The basket closes before they're able to follow up with more clams, but still they're able to get quite a decent lead here. We are halfway through this match, and we've left SOS Staff with a nice play from their stamper right there to take that lead back.
All right, we see car sticks here on the left side with this wiper just getting paint on the ground, collecting 4 clams, trying to get to the enemy ramp once more. Ooh, they do have this altar stamp here. They do try and get a pick, but they do get taken down quite quickly. We see SOS Staff with this power clam here. You trying to hold it down, getting more paint on the ground while the rest of their team pushes forward.
Yeah, that was a good stop of that altar stamp, and they're going to be returning with 1 in turn. Ooh, they're both locked into this corner, trying to find the jump, but they're able to jump out just in the nick of time. We love SOS Staff, going to be going for that basket, trying to extend their lead even further. Unfortunately, the hammer was focused in that corner right there, not able to break onto the plat, and the altar stamp for KTM is going to take down 2 of their own members, but not quite able to get too far onto the plat.
Yeah, we saw Kaori here on this right side trying to get into the enemy ramp here, but they did get taken down quite quickly. We see Zenith here on the left side. Ooh, against 3 members of KTM. They are just trying to hold their space there, but it's not a really safe place for them to be. We see the soda come out as that member jumps back. Kaori here still trying to hold the enemy ramp, trying to get a pick, but ooh, SOS Staff is so aggressive against them that they're really not able to hold much.
I wasn't even paying attention to what We Love SOS Staff was doing. KTM, they were pushed up trying to get some space onto We Love SOS Staff, but they neglected to get the little flank that was going on in their rafters right there. The jump that was getting, get it down to 44, really extending the lead for We Love SOS Staff. KTM, they gotta be able to get a good push going. Like, they're gonna have to have a lot of follow-up just to get that lead back. And like, they have all the power clams in their possession, but again, just because of how difficult it is to get to the basket through the plat area, especially with how much of We Love SOS Staff is alive right now, they do. Oh well, that changes things.
Yes, 3 are down on the side of SOS Staff right now. Ooh, KTM is able to get the lead here with that bubble there, able to just hold it enough for the rest of their team to get those clams in. We see the rest of KTM just still trying to hold the enemy plat. They do seem to be rotating here, trying to get more clams in. The score ticks down to 11. We see Vilk here trying to survive, trying to get more clams in. Kaori here on the right side just trying to survive using this wall. Ooh, but SOS Staff is going to have to make an aggressive play here to be able to get the lead back.
Oh man, and it doesn't look like KTM is going to want to let them. That 52 is really pushed up right there, and they had 2 of the members already go down. Overtime is halfway done here. Oh, but they're going to take the 52 down. They have an opening. The minion is going to be going down. Oh, but the wiper is sitting up top trying to get the pencil. Pencil is going to be taken down, and overtime is going to tick out. KTM taking a really decisive comeback there to take this first match. I don't even know what happened to We Love SOS Staff, but judging from how quickly 3 of them went down, my guess is either Bomb or Zuka.
I was not able to catch it either, but goodness, that was a good play from KTM. Just 1 solid push, that's all they needed, and they were able to get that match.
And it was exactly what I was saying. Like, they had all the clams they needed to get the lead back, but they just needed the opportunity. They needed the opening. And whatever went down, they gave them that opening that they needed and really did solidify just kind of that lead that they got there.
All right, the next map mode we are going to be seeing is Splat Zones on Robo Ramen. One of my favorite Splat Zones map modes. I think, just because Ramen itself is a very fun map. It's very fun to go underneath where the splat zone is and just kind of wait there to see what sharking opportunities you can make for yourself. And then as a backline, I feel like this is also kind of a fun map because there's some fun places to set up. There's some high places that are a little difficult to reach, but if you're able to get up there, you have a lot of control over the zone.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that it does lend itself to why this map is so fun, because it has those kind of flexibility, those alternate routes where you can take as that short range or a frontline weapon, but it also has a lot of cover, a lot of good positioning for the backline as well, so you have that nice diversity for all these different playstyles, so you're not kind of locked into one particular playstyle to bring the victory. And zones on top of that is rather flexible as well, just because of its turf war, but really condensed down into one area.
All right, are we seeing much change up here? We're not seeing that brush come back. We're seeing a splash now, the Neo Splash.
Going to be bringing the Neo Splash and going to be bringing those Ink Strikes and the Suction Bomb on top of that. So they're really going for that paint support. The double Ink Strike actually on top of that. They had the Vanilla Bucket there. But KTM going to be swapping to the NZAP so they can bring out the E-Leader, the Vanilla E-Leader, and going for some really long-range backline, but unfortunately they are going to be losing two of their members, and the Bucket really going to be looking to take out the E-Leader on top of that.
I think the E-Leader is a really interesting pick here because, yes, you can reach across the whole zone with that because of the range, but, this is a map where people move very quickly. It's pretty open, and there's a lot of sharking opportunities, and to be an E-Leader and to be successful, you really just have to set up in one area. You can't be moving around that much. You won't have the opportunity to aim as well as you need to. So that's an interesting pick.
And I know, like, with the pencil, it has that dual function of being able to have paint support and go for those long range picks. The E-Leader, on the other hand, really is locked into trying to get those long range picks. It doesn't really have the same paint support that the pencil has on the other side, so if they're not able to get those splats, they're not really able to support their team too well, but they don't really need it right now. KTM getting a nice 3 down from that 52, gonna be taking the lead back as well, but here comes those strikers that we were looking at before. The Kraken coming out trying to disperse them. They are going to take down the Kraken, but they lose two of their own members in the process, and in the zone back to We Love SOS Staff.
KTM using a Kraken of their own here, able to hold on the right side as they're trying to set up again for an aggressive push. But it looks like SOS Staff is pretty good on the paint here, just trying to keep KTM from getting anywhere close to it. We see Kaora here just trying to get close, trying to get a pick to help their team push in, but they're just not able to find anything. We see the blaster here fall down to the ground, just try and wait out those strikes. It's so well painted here by SOS Staff. KTM's gonna have to try and do something aggressive to get in.
You know, such an interesting interaction from both the blaster and the 52. Both of them just kind of like dancing around within We Love SOS Staff members, but just not able to really not only get a pick, but really get much paint right here. And We Love SOS Staff going to be bringing it back with the final tri-strike, taking the zone all the way to the KO.
Yeah, they got that knockout. Jeez. I felt like it was pretty even in the beginning of the game there, with both sides able to be pretty aggressive, get paint on the ground, but I guess SOS Staff just able to hold a little bit better.
Yeah, you kind of had that, the alternate playstyles. You had the aggression coming out from KTM, and we saw that with the 52, just really getting those nice splats. But when they weren't getting those splats, SOS Staff had the paint down, they had the splash, they had the pencil here, and so with that and the double strikes, they just were really able to utilize the map control and just like really flush out kind of the members of KTM. They just didn't have any room to maneuver with.
Yeah, I feel like my theory for that E-Leader kind of came true. They just weren't able to hold the space as well as they needed to. They needed to be able to be safe at all times, to be able to keep that range on the enemy team, but because they were moving so much, they just couldn't shoot as much, and the E-Leader as a weapon just doesn't paint as well as the pencil does, like you said, so it was not as useful in that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so that's going to be bringing up to 1-1. Next up is going to be tower control on the Mako Mart. Really a good contrast between both Robin Rum and Museum de Alfonsino. Malcolm March is really a tight-knit stage. So many tight corners, just a much smaller map in general. And then you add on, you got tower control. That's going to really put the focal point on that moving tower for the mode.
A lot of places here where you can set up to be above where the tower is, quite like on Hagglefish. But I feel like you were saying, this is a sort of a tighter map, a smaller map, harder to kind of move around and to get behind the enemy as well. So this will be an interesting fight from both sides.
And they are going to be both swapping back to using the pencil for the back line. Still sticking with the range blaster, been very consistent with that, and they are going to be running it with the slosher as well. Still going for that double AoE and getting a nice 2 down, looking for a third, but unfortunately does get taken down by the junior. And we are going to be seeing that junior return from KTM. The Bubbler are going to be doing an excellent job when they have control of the tower, but right now we love SOS Staff doing a good job of maintaining it instead.
Yeah, SOS Staff able to take an aggressive lead here, getting the tower down to 60, getting that first checkpoint. We see KTM kind of scrambling here, trying to take the space back, using their specials on SOS Staff to keep them away from the tower. And we see a jump there as 2 of the members of SOS Staff go down. KTM in control of this tower here. They are trying to paint up. They are trying to get forward. Only the junior has the bubble at the ready, though. They don't have the rest of the specials up to keep this aggression.
Yeah, well, they have that bubbler online, but it's really best used for holding down space, and when they don't really have the space that they want, it doesn't necessarily help them out in the way that they want it to. But 2 members down on both sides, though, and still that lead in SOS Staff's favor. This KTM is having a hard time trying to find that space that they need to break back in and start getting a push going.
We see KTM using the whale there, trying to keep SOS Staff from getting any farther forward. But we see Mikey here on the left side using that blaster to really kind of tease the enemy team, getting a pick there, stopping them from getting anywhere near the tower. Ooh, we see the Zuka come out from Zenith, trying to get more picks. 1 member of KTM is down right now, but the rest of them are being pretty aggressive, even against this bubble on the enemy side. The Kraken here getting some more picks for their team.
Yeah, Mikey's been doing an excellent job of just trying to play for that space there between the blaster and the Kraken, just really locking down those areas that they need to hold in order to get the tower control or the tower moving. And the pencil doing a good job of holding the space around tower as well, getting the checkpoint. They are going to have to be forced to hop off for the time being, but with the strikes coming out, they still maintain the space, but they're losing the members to keep it going. Just the blaster remaining, and they're going to be going into 1v1 versus that 52 right there.
Yeah, that was an interesting play with the strikes. There wasn't any member of SOS Staff on the tower at the time, but I guess they just wanted to hold that space. Looks like Mikey here on the right side using the blaster, trying to get some more space here, getting those picks.
I think they were just they were hoping that they could get a player on there just to keep it going, but unfortunately just too many of them were going down. But that being said, though, we love SOS Staff coming back and just taking down 3 members of KTM on top of that, just not letting them get set up at all. So much pink paint on the ground right now, and they're already moving in. Look at them. They are looking to push right into KTM's base.
I see KTM getting behind SOS Staff, just trying to cause a little chaos, getting a little paint on the ground, but 2 members of KTM are down now. Looks like SOS Staff able to get a wipeout. Let's go. They've got the tower here. They are getting paint on the ground with that pencil, but you see the Zuka come out, just maintaining that space. I'm guessing they are going to jump there, trying to take the space once more, just more forward, trying to hold. We see a member of KTM on this right side, though, able to get a pick, 2 picks off of the enemy team, able to get them off of that tower. Ooh, that was Kaora getting 3 members of SOS Staff down before they get taken out.
I was just about to say, Kaora, they're on the 52, already has shown that they can put in the work when they're in plain sight of the enemy. So when you throw in the fact they're coming in with a flank, we love SOSF, which is not ready for it. Getting 3 and possibly a full wipeout just from the 52 is going to reset kind of KTM's opportunities right here are going to be taking space back from We Love SOS Staff. But unfortunately, they are on the first checkpoint and lost 2 of their members, 3 of their members down. They're just not quite able to like keep their team up alive to push the tower forward. And when we're getting down to the 30 seconds, they're just running out of time.
Yes, interesting. They are pretty aggressive. They are able to get picks. We've seen it happen, but I guess they're just not able to coordinate getting those picks as well as holding the tower and getting points on that board.
I think you nailed it right there. Like, they have those nice plays, they have those good openers, but then they're not able to follow up with it. They're just not able to stay alive long enough to push the tower forward. That being said, though, the junior on the tower with the bubbler able to get past the first checkpoint, and then Cooler is going to be popped. This is their last chance to be able to take it right here, but the bombs are coming out. Oh, they're going to be jumping onto the tower, and We Love SOS Staff able to nab the tower at the last second.
KTM was trying so hard against all those bombs. They were just trying to get the tower a little bit more forward, just trying to kind of stay in that fight. But SOS Staff able to just hold paint, able to get everyone off the tower as they jumped on and stop that overtime.
I was going to say, they didn't even need the strikes to the Kraken to do that. They just tossed a couple of bombs, they dipped, and then just tiptoed their way onto it from the ledge.
Hey, that's all they needed to do.
Exactly. So we're going to be seeing We Love SOS Staff. We'd love to see it. Up 2-1 versus KTM on match point for We Love SOS Staff. Rainmaker Undertow Spillway.
Ooh, good Rainmaker map, I feel.
Indeed. It's going to be difficult. Rainmaker is not really the mode you want to see for a match point just because of how volatile it is. Now, We Love SOS Staff, if they're able to keep doing what we saw in the last one, just being able to maintain the overall space, they can certainly put in a lot of good work, but this is going to give KTM an opportunity to just kind of throw in the wild card play, be able to just take the lead back at just a surprise time, because we saw that with the push for their clan blitz. It's just kind of those impromptu plays that KTM was able to pull off.
And I'm thinking it's interesting that we're seeing, like I said, the utility teams with the bubble and the soda, and I'm not sure it's working out for the teams that pick those, because yes, it is a lot of utility. You do stay alive a lot longer, and the bubble does help in some key situations, but against a team that is as aggressive as SOS Staff, I'm not sure if that's the play.
Now I'd follow up that with just Rainmaker in general as well. Bubbler is not necessarily the thing you want to be using, because you need just so much utility to push forward, and Bubbler is just really good for holding the space that you have.
Interesting though that the KTM is using the charger with the vacuum, I believe. Yes, that's good for Rainmaker. I'm not sure how that's going to work against SOS Staff, but like we said, they are pretty aggressive, and it's going to be easy to get behind a vacuum player.
And speaking of SOS Staff, they swapped out the vanilla bucket for that Tri-Slosher. The vanilla Tri-Slosher going to be rocking the Poison Mist and the Inkjet, both a really good combo for this map mode. You have the Poison Mist just to slow down the Maker, and the Inkjet just getting those ledges that you normally would have to go around to get to. But we're going to be seeing We Love SOS Staff get the first checkpoint, getting down to 60, and once again, KTM looking to push back in the mid, but have half their team coming back from spawn here, and the Rainmaker carrier is going to be forced into the corner and just Toxic Mist to death.
Wow, SOS Staff is so aggressive. They really had that bucket go up against the Rainmaker and get that trade. We see you here on the left side trying to survive, but they do jump back, trying to just get paint on the ground for their team. Looks like SOS Staff able to take out that NZAP, able to take out a Wiper. They are trying to get closer to getting that Rainmaker, but we see trades now. We see 3 down on the side of SOS Staff. Looks like KTM is being even more aggressive. We're seeing that Killer Whale come out. We're seeing the rest of their team on that spine just pushing up.
And here we see KTM with kind of that first player advantage of the game for them, exactly what they're looking for. And they're able to pop the vac, but the Zuka comes in from the side, takes down the NZAP and the Charger. They were able to get the checkpoint there, but they're not have anyone alive to really push it past that. Still going to be We Love SOS Staff with the 1-point lead here. Not a safe lead by any chance, but still the fact that they were able to lock it down when they did just gives them another opportunity to push their own.
Looks like one is down on both sides here. We see Zenith on this left side trying to get paint down, but they get taken out. Kaora here able to hold forward against SOS Staff, as aggressive as they are. The Inkjet does come out though, forcing Kaora to go back a little bit. They are still trying to get paint on the ground though. They get the killer whale out here, just trying to make something happen, but it doesn't look like anything is right now.
That's right. We are down to 2 minutes here, and we haven't seen any pushes past the first checkpoint. But again, KTM just not able to like really gain any space from that. Like every time they make a play, the Tri-Slasher comes in and cleans them up. They're going to be looking to flank around as they're pushing the Rainmaker. All 3 members down. A delayed wipe right there. Kaora with a 52 doing a good job of cleaning up that play before it could get out of hand, and is going to give KTM another opportunity.
Gosh, KTM is getting so many picks right now. They do have the Rainmaker on this right side, but 3 members of SOS Staff are still up. We see the vacuum come out. Are they able to get... Oh, they are able to get the lead just by a little bit. 52 versus 60 for right now. Only 1 member of SOS Staff is up. Ooh, KTM able to push it to 45 now.
Oh, that could have been so detrimental to We Love SOS Staff. The 3 members down on Rainmaker is not what you want to see, but Zenith on the shot, able to stay alive long enough just to stop the Rainmaker, and is going to go to delayed wipe. But KTM going to be getting a delayed wipe of their own, as We Love SOS Staff is going to be turning around.
Yes, we see this bucket player here for SOS Staff getting more paint on the ground, following up those Trizuka strikes, trying to help their Rainmaker player get more points on the board. We see a Kraken come out on the left side, trying desperately to push this Rainmaker carrier forward, but Kaora, oh no, they got behind them. Are they able to take out the Rainmaker? And they're not able to.
No, the Kaora with the sneaky play, but gets spotted just at the last second. We Love SOS Staff able to push the Rainmaker all the way down to 26, able to take the lead back, and Zenith is still fighting right there. Ooh, the Zuki gets popped, takes down 1, but they are going to be sent back to spawn themselves. Once again, Kaora is still with the flanks. They just... We Love SOS Staff has not been able to catch them. They're still just going for splat after splat after splat.
Gosh. And Kaora's doing so good. That's 2 more picks on their side. They are trying so hard to get their team to push forward to get that lead back. They are on this left side here. They have 10 seconds to hold this Rainmaker and get this lead, but looks like SOS Staff is being just as aggressive as they usually are. We see the Ultra Stamp come out for KTM. They are trying to push up. They are trying to paint up. It's a good opportunity to put this lead back. Ooh, only 2 members of SOS Staff still up, but that bucket is so aggressive. They're able to get that pick on the Rainmaker and stop the push.
I was going to say that We Love SOS Staff was staggered extremely hard there, but because they needed to get the Rainmaker carrier past that chokehold, having 1 player up was all We Love SOS Staff needed. And at the end there, it was a Tri-Slasher with the Poison Mist able to just swoop in and take out the carrier for the victory.
Yeah, they really just held forward there and was able to get that pick on the Rainmaker. Goodness. Oh, that was so close. KTM was so close to getting that lead. If they could have only gotten a little farther into that hallway, but no. SOS Staff, as aggressive as always, able to get that point, able to get that match point, and able to secure this grand final set.
What made it even more intense was the fact that KTM, they had the nice lead to begin with. They had the 3 members down in the vacuum up that right ramp, but the fact that We Love SOS Staff was able to move past that, able to come back around and get a lead further than that, was just crazy,
Well, that has been the end of Swimmer Sync 158. Your winners tonight are We Love SOS Staff. And we do love SOS Staff.
Absolutely, and we swear we didn't rig it just because they had a fan service name.
We swear.
But you're correct, that is going to be We Love SOS Staff as your SOS champions for tonight. Congratulations to them. Such good matches to watch tonight, just like all the way to the end, very back and forth right there.
Definitely.
But as we close up, Six, where can would you like to plug yourself here?
Yeah, you can find me at iMadGamerII on Twitter, on YouTube, on all the places that you can find Splatoon content. Look me up, you will find me. iMadGamerII.
Yes, indeed. You can also find us at Riptide, going to be coming out at the first weekend of September. It's going to be at the Kalahari in Sandusky, Ohio. Going to be extremely fun. Going to be the biggest Splatoon LAN to date with over 400 signups so far.
Yes, I saw that there were records for Smash Ultimate too. I think the most that Riptide has ever had? Question mark? Don't put me on that, actually.
Just insane. We're gonna need a bigger venue with how many signups we're getting.
Good. Let's only get bigger. Let's be loud. Let's make Nintendo pay attention to us.
And I can confirm that we have I'm gonna say over 160 clappers ordered and ready to be handed out.
No, you can't say that. It's gotta be a surprise.
I'm saying
You didn't hear anything.
Nothing. You heard nothing.
There is nothing.
Anyway, good night, y'all. But thank you for hanging out. Thank you all for watching, and thank you for joining us. And thank you to SOS Staff, to our lovely streamer Justin, and to all the TOs for putting this on tonight.
Bye. We love you.